About that, I switched and it wouldn't interrupt it, but it did. I'm so sorry, guys.
I was sitting here liking this thing for the last like 30 minutes and we had like 6.4K likes for you and now they're all gone.
That's all right. That doesn't matter. Who cares? What we're doing here is like bigger than that, right?
But the more likes you have, the more you'll be advertised in people's like when they're scrolling on TikTok right now.
Right. And I think this is the fact that I haven't been doing it so much is like I've been going down. Supremacy. I switched to my iPad because my phone was dying, and I like to walk around. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do too. I pace when I think.
Yes, exactly. I'm so
I
sorry for
Jimmy
that.
Neutron.
Right.
Right?
We'll build it back up. It'll build back up naturally. Like I'd rather it happen naturally than me to try to force it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes,
But the
sir.
thing is, if everybody wants me to go live, because I like building and sharing with the people, so I give everybody a platform to speak.
I'm down for this. I tried to get Kyle to see if
Are,
he would get on and join so
are
he
we
could.
waiting a little couple minutes just to get everybody, see if everybody kicks back on?
Yeah, that'll be a good. That's really good.
So what do you got? Do you know it? I'm just telling all you gentlemen, it's Mother Father's Day, so make sure you don't end up in the doghouse.
Good
Well, that's
morning.
tomorrow.
Good
What's up,
morning.
Moon? What's up,
Good
Moon?
morning.
Good morning.
You
Uh,
guys get along this time, okay?
I just
Sure
woke
will.
up.
No problem.
You know I love you both. You know I love you both.
I love you guys too.
I
Sometimes,
just,
listen, friends, tell people the truth, and I was okay with that. I'm a big girl.
Here you go.
hey, we gotta be hard on each other because if
And
we're
that's in
not
the
hard on each
past,
other,
and that's
we're not being honest with each other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm good with that.
And I'm just and like the other guy said, I was just being a big brother cautionaire.
Yeah, that's what I say too. You didn't hear me bitching or complaining.
Right. So
So
like
that's in the past, and this is a new
absolutely.
day. You know
You
what I
had
mean? And I'm trying to be a better person today than I was yesterday, and I'm grateful for my friends. And you're supposed to tell the truth, and we'll let that be. All right, I'm gonna go run and get my pop downstairs. If Mr. Moon, I would love to hear something. You put something up yesterday. You posted that was amazing. That piece of that paper with those paragraphs on there with you know what I'm talking about, sir?
he's mute. He might be at work though, so he be ripping and running while he's on live. So
Oh, that's right.
Hold
That's
on,
right.
hold on. I went to. I had to go to the restroom. I'll come back in a second, and then if you have your question, I'll answer it.
No problem, sir. Hope everything comes out okay.
I hope Tony the Tiger comes back. I was interested in what he had to say too.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he's great.
he's great. I said that to him. I said that to him in DM. I said that.
Yeah, remember that box tops? We used to get like the parachutes when we were kids and dodgeballs and stuff for gym. I wonder who's stealing that shit.
All right. What was your question?
Oh, I was just talking about that. I didn't get to read it all, but if you would like to elaborate, that was a very interesting, intriguing post you had, or whatever they call it on TikTok, post you put up yesterday with the reading about the treasury and all that.
Oh, the treasury and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't get to read it all, but I seen it.
well, I mean, it's just they
I'll
put it
I'll
out there
read it.
for us. They put it
I'll
out
read
there
it.
for us. It's just that, and difficult knows this. They put it out there for us. They're showing us.
I know.
The masses that be, the powers that be, everybody knows like that they're supposed to. And excuse my background noise because I'm getting me some coffee and stuff. But
Damn.
the powers that
You're
No,
missing.
Use the
the
bathroom.
the powers that
just a,
be they're supposed to tell us without telling us.
yeah.
So, and with the
Correct.
law, when it comes to the law, like me and Difficult can attest to, there's just certain things that you got to read in order to step yourself up into the proper position before you start firing shots back at courts
Yeah.
and stuff like that, because then um, when you put yourself in that proper position, they can't fuck with you after that.
Right.
You
You know
literally
what, too?
did put yourself in the right
Nothing
position.
that comes easy is good for you. So I don't mind a little work, you know? I like a
Right.
challenge. You know what I mean? It's been a wonderful journey. I've met so many wonderful people.
Same. I agree.
Right. And I've replaced the word process with journey. I'm on a journey here, right?
Yeah, it's definitely like Mr. Difficult says. It's definitely about building,
Sure is.
and and building helps.
And you know what I love to see is everybody growing in different knowledge, but it's all one. It's amazing.
Well, when you learn more, you regrow. You know what I mean? You
That
grow.
exactly. I see
Think
But
about
everybody.
but that's also what I was saying last time is even though we're learning and we're regrowing, we
We
always
have our own
gotta
journeys.
we have our own journeys and stuff exactly, but we still gotta go read, dude.
Oh, I
yeah.
read all the time too.
Readers creates leaders. You know what I
Freaking
mean?
right.
Yeah.
Mm,
Evil doesn't create, it manipulates.
Yeah.
mm,
Or plagiarizes.
Yeah, right. Or
mm.
wire fraud, bank fraud. We got all kinds of 18 USC
But that's what
violations on these kids.
Right.
supremacy. That's what you was about to talk to. So like this is what I'm trying to formulate here. This one is called a town hall, right? So everyone has an opportunity to speak. Don't filibuster or anything, but get your word out. And then somebody else sit down, and then somebody else speaks up. You yield your time, just as they do in the Congress or whatever the House of Parliaments or whatever they call them. What's up, Tony? Tony's back. Hold on, let me get him back.
Hey, Tony's back.
Sorry,
E-
Tony, my
Great.
my phone was like dying, so I had to switch to my iPad.
I was like wondering. I was like, "Dang, what happened? Did he take them down?"
Right, they didn't take me down this time. So like, I feel like if we
Right,
just conduct things like an assembly, right?
right,
Like because we have the right to assemble. This
That's
is just
correct.
this is just the people assembling. Now, if
right.
if TikTok wants to go against that, I'm going to get them on a violation of rights for obstructing our right to assemble.
That's
Right.
correct. They've already got suits against them with the FTC and the FCC. So
Right?
they are violating.
Did you hear about that guy that went and served Wyoming and he served my state like a few days ago, and then I think he just served Washington or some another. No, it was Montana or something like that.
Are you talking about that wonderful gentleman that throws the vanilla envelope at them and he says, "You've been served"?
Mhm. Love
I
it.
can't really say because I haven't followed him too much, but he's an older gentleman. He looks like he's bald. He wears a suit, and he just goes into the official state court halls or whatever you want to call them, capitals and stuff,
Hmm.
and goes and serves the attorney generals. He just
How
did
wonderful.
Colorado the other day. He did Utah. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, and then I think he just did Montana or Idaho last night. I saw.
Yeah, they tuck the hoe, slap the hoe. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I haven't, if he's on TikTok, I haven't seen him, but I've heard of him from other stuff, doing that. He's just going around serving everybody, taking care of everything he can.
Yeah, he's the lawyer for the people, my ass, because
But
what's going on in the family courts.
the only thing that has me a little like curious about it is he took pictures on Facebook and he showed the paper that he served, and the only thing that had me sketch about it was there's no notary at the bottom of the end of the paper.
Did he mail it?
No, because he's walking in and giving it to
Uh,
them.
Because sometimes they'll mail, I was told you always do 3 copies, and you mail one to yourself unopened, and you give one to the opposing,
But
and
even if you walk it in, you want it notarized because that's your proof that you have your witness
but
or
isn't the
that you go
post
to
office
court.
a notary if you do the, what is that?
Well, the notary,
Registered
Registered.
mail.
the post office is. If you want to be procedurally correct, it's good to use the post office because when you serve somebody with an action, I forget what rule is, but it is one of the rules of civil procedures. Don't call me on which one it is because I can't. It's not coming to my mind right now. But
Gotcha.
you have to serve them on a party that is not affiliated with the action itself. and that's actually the benefit of serving them through certified mail or registered mail. And the reason you do that is because it creates a chain of evidence, number one, and then number two, you serve them with a party that's not in the action itself.
Yeah, you have a witness,
Exactly.
correct.
It's like you're like the Bible says, one not one but three witnesses.
Correct.
Right, and then you enforce postal powers on top of it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. If they end up doing something that violates anything that has to do with the mail, and this is why I
Oh, that's a,
love
yeah.
this. This is why I love it. You can hit them with I think 28 USC 1341,
Yep.
1342.
Yep. Oh, and
What is
another
that?
thing,
What are those codes?
mail fraud.
Mail
Mail
fraud.
fraud.
Yep.
You
So
know,
if they
another thing
commit
they're
fraud,
doing,
if they commit
I,
fraud by using the mail, then yeah.
they're done.
Right.
Well, listen, do you know what else they're doing? They are using a fraudulent red meter stamp. It is not the the international, uh, the International Postal Union stamp. They're doing fraud and they're taking the money for it. They busted somebody in Southern California working for USPS. He did $150 million worth of it.
Well, so what you can do, number one, here's the thing. I got a stamp that I because I do this so damn much. I got a stamp that
Postmaster.
Yes, I got a stamp that basically says, my name and proper grammar, and then it also says means, and then it has my initials. So I've claimed my initials and I stamp it somewhere on the envelope. So if they see my initials anywhere, they know what my initials mean. So then
Correct.
I do that, and then usually once they put the postage or something like that, I cancel out their postage and their stamps and things like that by
Yes.
putting my initial on it. And that way, if they do want to try to pull that metered postage crap, well, I'm like, well, I fucking claimed it. It's mine.
Exactly. You wouldn't
Mm.
believe, yeah. You know that Detroit, Michigan, USPS workers got busted destroying 150,000 court documents that people were trying to mail for family courts.
What the crap?
That's
That's
the
where I'm
thing. Are
at.
they
I'm in
involved?
Detroit, Michigan.
Oh yeah, they're but my girlfriend's out there and she is. Boy, you know what? That's a place, and that Dabaja judge, her husband's in the RICO shit, and his prison term gets suspended. And I'm reading facts. Was on cigarettes and cocaine charges, and I was like, wow, isn't that a conflict of? And she assumed the position, so that means that bitch wasn't voted in. She's also a commissioner, which is against the rules. You're not supposed to. When you're a judge, you're a judge. That's it. None of her documents are stamped properly, and it's a joke. We have like
Right.
78 documents against them, affidavits, all kinds of stuff, mail fraud. You got to see this stuff. Wow, they buried themselves. But we also found the bonds. That's how I found that Sunbiz, and there's one for every state. But it's not Sunbiz is Florida's. You notice you had some in Florida? Anybody? Because I had 17 pages full of that sunbiz.org, when you put in the entity name, I had 17 pages with like 18 to 20 corporations in my name in Florida. There's one for every state, I believe.
Supremacy. Can I schedule a time with you to sit down and go through that properly?
Yeah. Yeah. No
What
problem.
what is you said sunbiz.org?
Yeah. And then it's changed since I did it. That's why I always save everything, because these sons of biscuits, they're watching us, kids, and they're quick. So you got a screenshot. Yeah. Yeah. Trust me. So, anyways,
Hot potato.
yeah. Good. Listen, I tell them, listen real good. You wouldn't believe some of the shit I say.
Right. And that's why so the route that I took, supremacy, if you ever heard me, like I took the quantum grammar route, and so I entered under I don't know if you know who Russell J. Gould is and David Wen Miller. I entered into their venue. And the reason I
Yeah.
do that is because their entire venue is based on maritime and admiralty jurisdiction, which
Hey,
is
you know they'll leave the
which is
room.
worldwide. It's
They'll leave the
worldwide.
room and they change
Hold
hats.
on.
And what?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, Supremacy. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yes, well, to add what you're saying, yes, they will leave the room. That's why you don't let them go into recess. If they ever said, we'll go into recess, you object immediately. You say, no, we adjourn. Because if they go into recess, they can come back and change the venue on you.
Well,
Okay?
you know what else? You can listen. If they try to leave, you tell them you're abandoned ship and it's done. Let them leave. But while they're walking to the door, let them know.
Yes. Come
Yep.
on, people.
Yep. The judge has abandoned ship.
Yep,
So the reason,
let them leave. Bye.
well, so, and this is why this is why I said I entered Russell's venue is because it operates in maritime and admiralty, which is the law of nations.
Huh.
So they have to recognize it anywhere in the world and in under any action. And because it deals with commerce as well, like they can't refute it. So I feel like it's out of all the studying that I've done, I feel like it's the simplest to stay. Like if you want to pick a lane and stay in it, that will just help you do whatever you want to do. I don't know. That's why I ended up staying in that. And so basically I just stay in the lanes that I set up basically. And that's what I do now. You know, because yeah, if you go between all these different jurisdictions or crossing, you know, private versus public and all these things, you know, this is where you have to start studying all kinds of different terms and this and that across different jurisdictions to make sure you're conveying the right thing correctly. So,
I'll piggyback off of that
Let's.
too. We've learned.
So they invited you there, sir, or did you invite them?
talking about entering the venue.
Yeah.
There
Well,
you go.
so so they invented the quantum grammar system, which is a way of properly communication, and then they were recognized in the United Nations by the United Nations as sovereigns, and then they essentially created their own nation, and in creating their own nation, they established their own venue or a venue in which their nation operates out of, and that is
Exactly.
utilizing what's called the law of the flag, and essentially using the law of the flag, you operate internationally on a worldwide scale in commerce, right, and in equity. And so it's kind of like a mooring line. It's a way to for you to handle your business
Yeah.
internationally in a way that's internationally recognized.
Huh. So that way it's across the board.
Yes. And it's utilizing the postal jurisdiction, which is also worldwide.
Huh.
And I
Yeah.
was gonna piggyback off
International Union.
Tony too. I was gonna piggyback off Tony because what we're learning in our class too is that you can't mix processes, and that's a big no-no. And that's what a
Yes.
lot of people are doing. A lot of people are going and learning all this stuff, and they're mixing processes. And then this is why you get the sovereign citizen fail videos.
Yeah, and that's why I say you got to pick a lane and stay in it because if you
Yep.
cross lanes, if you start saying common law, and then you start doing things in the public as well. Well, now you're crossing into venues or jurisdictions, and that's the big thing that most people don't realize. If you want to be a private individual, do whatever. You don't got to tell them shit. Be in
Nope.
your private whatever, this and that. But if you want a way to interact with the world, right, then you just have that mode of operation or that thing that you operate and stay in your lane. Set up
Yeah.
your lanes to go where you want to go.
Man your position.
That is standing in position. That's what I've been learning, and that's what I feel is the best.
Yep. Box out.
If you don't have that status standing in position, all you're doing when you're in the courts trying to serve these people and talk to these people is you're just talking shit. So even though everybody's starting to wake up, like we were just talking about, if they're not in the proper standing, status, and position, I mean, that stuff could just all that stuff that we're seeing in the public could just be a show.
Yeah. Because we want a stalemate. Queen's dead. Game over.
That's the thing that has always given me a little bit of fear about standing up in court is just crossing those lines and watching all these sovereign fails and taking from it what I think they did wrong so that I don't go and do the same thing. But you're right, you can't sit here and mix and match different processes. You got to stick to your guns on one and do it.
Yeah, but
Yes.
when you serve them, you could also. I don't know if you ever watched Carl Lentz. He had a very good short video about you have a pre-recipe day and you tell them how you're running your court because when you are the when you're the plaintiff, you're the prosecutor because the prosecutor ain't gonna bring no fraud to court, and you could call him on that. And I'm sure everybody here has, as long as you have one, how can I say this, one move for your position. If you kind of catch my drift, I believe that you can Dominion, the court. And because when you're the prosecutor, you move court.
Mhm.
And that was a real. I'll have to find that. It won't. It won't. It's not going to be a problem. But you guys, it's a very good video.
Supremacy, are you on my Telegram?
No.
Well, go to his page and join it.
I would like to
Okay.
extend you an offer. I'm not trying
No,
to
that's fine. Listen.
coerce you into it
Is
now.
it the same? Is it the same name as this?
It's in my
Your
my
bio? Okay. Okay.
yes love, please. Come
I
join
sure will.
it, you know.
Sure will. Listen, I've been
My
getting a
man
lot of
Pooh is in the
messages from women
building.
with kids that have been
Looks
stolen.
like my man and Pooh is in the building. So
Hello.
and Pooh's
Yay.
he's coming to Atlanta,
Oh.
and I'm trying to get prepared for that because I want to present him with a lot of things when he gets here, right?
I
And
can't wait to see you guys on live together. That would be so. That would be so colossal.
Yeah.
would not be. I'm excited for it, but I'm also scared to death. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared to death because hey, that's who Aunt Pooh is. He don't sugarcoat nothing. If you
Nope.
want sugar cookies, you better go to
But go to your mommy's.
go to grandma.
Oh yeah, you go the soft as your mother's love. Fucking go on get.
Get on out of here now. I'm gonna
Oh
let the
yeah.
hey Aunt Pooh. I don't know how long you want to stick around. I'm gonna let the people talk for a little bit, and then I'm gonna let you come in with that pop. You feel me?
Hey, I hate to be a bother, and I'm glad that he's here. What a blessing, and I love you guys. But I know I'll catch you before, and I have it all written down. I have like an outline, but I have a chow that I have to finish grooming because that's what I do. I own a dog grooming, babysitting, and training, and I also take care of handicapped people. So I would love to stay, but I would love to get this done. And he's the person you want to listen to right now. And if you're getting a blessing, I'm going to listen, but I have to get off. Love everybody. I'll see you guys later, I'm sure. Bye. We do all night long.
All right, have a good one.
Good
I
evening.
definitely
You
threw you
too.
a
Bye.
follow.
Love you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, anything you want to say before I let Aunt Pooh on?
Oh, I
Unless
mean,
he wants
shoot,
to stay.
let him up, let him up. You know,
All right, let's
I'll
do
just
it.
say that. Shoot, when I came across Ampu, I hadn't seen anybody of all the people talking about legal things on TikTok. I'd say Ampu mentioning the postal jurisdiction. I was like, you were like, I hadn't heard anyone out there mention it, and I'm like that
Everything
is
starts with the post office.
right. Well,
Yeah.
because if you can grasp the concept that any operation of commerce you're going to have is going to require some kind of evidence, like how if you bought something, what is the evidence of what you bought? What is the bill of lading? What is the receipt? What is the proof of that transaction,
The
right? And you need
bill of lading.
right.
Come on with it, Tony.
Ooh.
Right. Well, and I'm just saying though, if you want to operate fairly in the world, right, and conduct business with a bunch of people on a regular basis, right, you have to be fair, and that requires giving proof or evidence of the transaction. And so,
Correct. And
um,
having another party as witness
right, and
outside of their jurisdiction. Sorry, Tony.
right, yeah, and exactly. And so when it comes to like what the straw man is, the straw man, depending on how you want to look at it, is just your face for how you interact doing business or for that thing it's your vessel
It
for
is your
for oper
piece on the Monopoly board.
exactly
Yes.
it's like playing a video game. The video game character is not you, but
Mm-hmm.
the video game character is lifeless. It can do nothing unless you pick up that controller and move the character,
Yeah.
right?
Come on.
Oh, nothing. Control everything.
And that's what Ampu
Right.
said. Ampu goes like, "Are you going to pick up the controller?"
Nice.
Because that character is just standing there, and everybody's collecting off of your properties.
Well, that and then imagine, this is the way that I look at it. This is why I say, like, I can comprehend why some of these people, these bad actors, do what they do, because it's imagine playing a game and your buddy's AFK, meaning away from console, right? That's a common gamer terminology. and you have the chance to score a kill because he's away from the console. Are you gonna
Correct.
cap him and take advantage of the situation, score some points, get a score, whatever
Yep.
this and that? And that's what they do. They see that your vessel is abandoned or
Mhm.
that it's not really moving in a good way or that it's not moving at all. And these people are pirates. They're like that freaking shisty dude that'll freaking snipe a kill on you if you're AFK.
That's
Mhm.
why I was saying a second ago is, and Tony,
That
it's
was
because
that was beautiful. That was beautiful, Tony. Tony, that was beautiful. I'm sorry, Moon. Continue. I'm sorry, brother.
you're good. That's why me and him are on pretty much on the same page. Like we're learning that we have to manage, control, and operate our vessel in the proper way, which goes back to proper status, standing, and position. Because if you're not, then you're just talking shit. You go to court. You don't have to enter court. You don't have to do certain things, but we're told that we do. So they create that fear in us before we even are of, well, we'll say drinking age, or before we're even drinking age, we're created with fear, like, oh, don't mess with Big Brother, don't mess with Big Brother, and we weren't taught in school the proper way to do things.
Right. And they know that someone is operating the straw man. They just don't know who. Because most people don't ever bother to say give their player ID, like or their who are like, this is me, I'm operating this vessel, this character or whatever, this and that. This is I have an interest in moving this vessel or something like that, right? No one ever really does that. And so because no one ever really comes correct like that, they're free to assume anything about you, and depending on how you conduct yourself, they're gonna assume any number of whatever the fuck they want.
Well, they've groomed us and brainwashed us to believe the opposite of what they're doing. So then we don't know any better to defend ourselves. That's why we're all here right now, because we're woke and we're figuring it out.
Right. Well, and then when it comes down to like when it comes down to like what you do, right? There is there is you, the living and divine entity that inhabits a physical vessel.
Correct.
And because everything is a vessel, every vessel, if you're going to conduct or do trade or business, and you want to be in good faith with clean hands, right? You have to come, correct. And this is the significance of the flag. When people talk about the law of the flag, it's derived from feudalism. And back then, they used to have problems with each other, and they'd say, "We are the whatever McCullen clan," and they'd wave their banner and say, "We're here to fight you." Right? This is our clan. This is what we believe in. These are the things that we live by, right? Because if you have no representation of who or what you are or what you stand for, then you're lawless. You're a pirate. You're an outlaw, meaning you are outside the law. You're not here to play fair. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not here to play fair, then there's no way we can peacefully resolve this. There's no way we can enter into resolution or negotiation, right? Because you don't have any, like, I don't know what you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're not waving something that lets me know that you're here in good faith, right? And that's what the flag came to represent. It came to represent a venue, like for nations and things like that. Two ships would meet at sea. One would be flying, let's say, the UK flag. One would be flying the flag of Spain. Oh, they're from Spain. I know they live under the monarchy of the Spanish king or whatever, and then they likewise know you're under the monarchy or the rules of doing business under the king of England. And so this gave people a way to conduct business and trade with each other and know that you're not an outlaw. But let's say if some vessel came at you in the middle of the sea, was flying no flag, or was a flag that was unrecognized, well, they can be a pirate, right? They could be outlaws.
Or
They're
a
Mm-hmm.
probably
false
not
flag.
there, right? So, and if they're waving no flag, I mean, you have no idea what they're there to do. You're not have no idea if they're going to play fair,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hey, I
And
actually got a question I was trying to ask difficult yesterday, but since we're all on here, I might as well ask everybody that is in this live, because I'm pretty sure they all have to deal with that type of stuff. when they're doing things. So I'm looking for printer recommendations because I need to get in. I have a printer, but it took a shit on me, and I need to know. I need to start printing some documents and
We just
stuff.
got a
So
really good one. The only thing I don't think it can do is fax, but I do know there's a slightly more expensive one, and we just got it at Walmart. It's a HP DeskJet. I think there's like a 44,000 number one, and it can print, scan, and fax.
okay, so
And the printer ink is really cheap.
my thing is would you prefer ink or laser? Because I've
You
been
say
hearing
cheap ink? Oh my
laser.
goodness, how'd you score that one?
Laser, nah, because you want certain capabilities when it comes to your printer. Like I was hearing, when we were talking to Ampu said that once we get in our proper status, you can't speak to the IRS or anything like that over the phone anymore. You have to fax. So would it be best to have a printer that has faxing capability? Also, I was hearing that most legal venues they only use laser printers because it doesn't put in like the ink and stuff. Plus, ink is getting
Well,
expensive and stuff like that.
there are ways to still talk to agents, but he's right. What it is you have to disqualify their language, which that's
Mhm.
something that I had to learn how to do in quantum. But
Mhm.
yes, ideally you don't want to talk to agents because here's the thing, the spoken word cannot be verified. And
Yep.
this is why these people will lie to you through the
unless on
motherfucking
record.
teeth. Well, that's why you need it in writing, so you need to know, so you can know if they're lying to you, right? Or well, so you can
Or
verify it.
or you record everything, and then if you need it transcribed, you can do that.
Mhm.
Okay, but here's the thing: even if you hear the sound, like people speech is sometimes imperfect, sometimes they don't enunciate, and there's multiple words that sound exactly the same, but they're spelled differently, right?
Yes.
So
Oh, so
that's the
that's the word. That's that black magic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
well,
it's like the style
yeah.
manual. That's like us them putting our name in all caps. So you want to do all of your stuff in writing. Just like, they say court happens in the documents. You
Right.
know?
No, I get that the handwriting stuff. My thing was like for the stuff I'm reading, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and then other documents because some documents aren't done in handwriting.
Right.
Yeah.
But unless you know how to disqualify their language, yeah, I would definitely say don't talk to them because I've done that. I mean, I've been pulled over a number of times, and usually before the cop, I usually like ask them a few questions. I said I can talk to you, but first I just need you to answer a question for me, and I'll just
Exactly.
do that. And
Exactly.
then once they do that, I disqualify their language, and once I do that, as long as I got it kind of either recorded or something that I did that, then I'll be like, okay, just keep in mind we are just, you know, speaking. We're just talking right now, right?
Right.
And
But
I've
like
been once
they
just
take it at it. They take it as admissible statements.
well, what it is they take it as you're trying or willing to contract with them,
Mm-mm.
right?
Admissible
So
statements. Statements that can be admissed as evidence against you.
Mhm.
But if you ever get pulled over by these people, they don't tell you anything that you can and will be say can be used against you until you're arrested.
Yeah.
well, because implicit. So here's the thing, right? If you wanted to talk to me, Mr. Difficult, you just say, "Hey, Tony," and I'm just like, I see you, I look right at you, and then I just turn away and I don't even say nothing to you. Can
Correct.
you imply that I want to talk to you?
Mm.
Right. Or like I agree to even engage in your contact with me, right?
Mhm.
Right. So exactly. So like th- they they try to goad you into getting into an interaction with them, and then in a deeper and deeper level of interaction.
Right. Once
So
you consent, now you're contracting. So like there's videos on YouTube where people who I wouldn't call them First Amendment auditors, but there are people who record police interactions. But what they do is they just engage in a conversation. There's at least two of them now. You got to have two people to do this. But you have somebody else with you, and you're just talking about the wind. You're talking about the Kendrick and whoever beef, right? You're just talking about whatever you want to talk about. And as the police approach you, they're trying to gain contact, but you remain contact with the person you're with.
Yeah, I seen that with those
Well,
videos. Those videos are funny as how it's
so
basically
here's
they're
They're funny
refusing
as
the
hell
contract.
because, like,
They're refusing the contract.
if you think about it, right? Excuse me, I'm already engaged in conversation over here. You're trying to interrupt me, and what does the judge do? You're trying to interrupt me, right? Now, if you don't have somebody with you,
well,
how can you do that?
right. So
Sorry,
this is
sorry, go ahead.
difficult. Okay, so let's just say that, right, you tried to talk to me and then I'm like, yeah, and I look the other way. And let's say you're a
Correct,
police, if you're wearing a police officer's uniform, this and that, right? He's already showing you that what he represents, or supposed to, anyways. But
correct.
here's the thing. Remember from the homework in Ampu's class, this was a very brilliant thing that was revealed in the homework. If you are asking, right? Who does the asking?
The king. Now,
Yeah.
but like, I get
Right.
that, I get that.
So
But here's the thing:
so they're
if but
they're
you have
wielding
to
authority over you by getting you to answer questions
if
to give in to
you
them.
have to engage with them, but
Right.
you're not compelled to engage with them under any obligation whatsoever.
Right.
You have the
Right.
unlimited power to contract and to refuse contracts.
Right. And
So when they
so
approach
this is,
you, like I
I
always put it.
say,
Sorry, go
right.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I always equate it to I'm going into Burger King. When I walk up to the counter, the first thing they ask me is, "How may I help you?" Right? So like you take that same concept as the cop walking up to your window. That's why he asks you to put your window down because he can't conduct business unless he can hear you, right? But
Right.
he's attempting to do that in order to gain evidence against you.
Well, that he's trying to get you to capitulate, to give in to him. And it starts
Correct.
with him asking you questions most of the time. Sometimes he'll make like
Absolutely.
sometimes they'll make a very vague statement or something like that. I've had them pull me over and be like, oh, they'll
Do
pull me
you
over and be
know
like,
why I pulled you over?
Oh, yes, I hate that.
well, sometimes,
That's what they used to say, but they can't say that anymore because the people are waking up to it, right?
well, they'll do
But they
that
would
or they'll
come in.
make a statement. They'll be like, you don't have plate. Like one time I got pulled over and the guy's like, you don't have plates. And I'm like, what are those?
Hmm.
Right. Come on, Tony.
So
Ne-
basically,
never
he makes a
acknowledge.
statement. He makes a statement, and I ask King, make him answer my questions.
Exactly. Come on. Come on, Tony.
Right. So I don't answer questions. I ask them.
What are
Like
those? What are
I didn't
you?
seek him out to contract. He sought me out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow. So the question answered stipulates the contract, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
it's
like when you're
basically it gets
How
you in
do
a
you answer?
position of submission, or you're giving in to his authority.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that can be defined as an agreement. That's why they always say, "Do you understand?" It's
Right.
not "Do
And so
you
at first,
comprehend?" It's "Do you agree?"
right. And then in that very interaction too, he did say, he did say, do you understand? I said, what are you talking about?
See, there you go. Come on, Tony. Because like my answer to "Do you understand?" I would be like what Tony just said. What did you just say?
He said, do you understand? I said, what are you talking about? And I said,
Right. You're looking for
so
clarification. Like,
right.
but
And
like
then I'll
my
say stuff
approach.
now. I
Sorry,
don't want
sorry.
to give him an excuse. I don't want to give him an excuse to think I'm being uncivilized. I said, can you send me this in the mail?
Well, to me,
Can,
it's
can,
a
can I,
question of to me it's a question of competence. He's asking you, do you understand? Right? So he's looking for competence from you. He's looking for an agreement. But in order for you to agreement, you must be competent of what he's presenting to you, right? So my thing is, I would always say, look, I can understand that, but right? I can understand that. Like, I'm willing to accept that and agree to that. However, I have my own list of concerns to follow up with. Like, now I'm recontracted with him. Now, if he agrees to what my concerns are on the follow up, now I'm the creditor on the contract.
Right. Well, I mean, here's what I do. I actually carry around oaths with me that I am willing to autograph and say, I'll autograph this, and you also likewise have to sign it. Right. And most of the time, they don't ever want to do that because, again, I want it in writing. I want it in writing. And like I said, they don't want to do that. Right now, they're just trying to shake you down to see if you're a sucker.
Yeah.
Correct. Come on with it, Tony.
Yeah, I reserve all my rights and whatnot.
So
Right. So
like one of my homeboys, Lee, he goes like, that's fine if you reserve them, right? You reserve them, you're putting them in your bank for you to invoke them later. But do we ever invoke our rights? We always say we reserve them, right? So like they're reserved in the bank until you need to use them, or in other words, invoke them. Like the word we should use is invoke.
True story. I like that.
so
It's all a
yeah,
play on words.
the
That's what the
office.
cool thing is.
Like I come from back like Tony, I'm sorry, bro, but I come from a programming background, right? And when we program our list of events, right? Now, when you go into the courtroom, that's an event that you can invoke by just going there, okay? And these are terms that are in programming code. Now, what is a UCC? What is a USC? They're codes that they use to invoke on the people. Now, but you have your own set of codes that are not necessarily codes, but they're invoked by the Most High. And if you do not invoke them, you can reserve them so you can use them at will. But unless you invoke them, are they under notice that you are invoking your rights? Right? In programming, right? You have to invoke an event. You have to invoke it. Those are the terms that's used in programming. You have to invoke it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then the thing is, you have to define the events that you can invoke, or else the application cannot invoke them. So first, you define them. You write a whole class, right? We're separated by class, right? And in programming, they're called classes. Now, a class can be instantiated. Now, when you walk into a courtroom, you're instantiating that class that you can invoke. Like I always said, right? Because I was a casino game programmer, okay? So I built casino games. I was siphoning money from the people. I gotta find peace with that because I got digital products that I want to release with that. But I can't. I'm torn because I don't want to release it because it's just going to be used for evil. But I spent all my time building this. If I can use it for good, I want to use it for good.
Well,
But
you can always patent whatever technology or thing that you invented, and you can give your volition on its use. Therefore, if you catch people using it in a manner that is otherwise authorized by you, right, you can have cause to bring them to suit.
yeah, I'm trying to find peace with it because I spent a lot of hours working on that.
Well,
And
the
the
reason I
thing
said that,
is,
like Mr. Difficult, what do you think Russell J. Gould did with the venue that he set up? Why do you think I tell you guys that some of my responses are limited because they get more specifically into technology that he has patented and things that he's done? Meaning that if I misuse any of the technology or teach somebody and they injure themselves or something like that, right, I can get court-martialed. because court martial would happen on an international. It would be an international level thing involving postal jurisdiction, which means military, therefore a court martial, right?
Right.
So like, why do you think I tell you guys that my responses are limited? Because I don't want to fucking get court-martialed, man. You know?
Right. Your responses are limited. Now, the best way to respond is by way of a question, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I mean, if you want to stay in power, if you want to stay in control of the situation when you're dealing with a fake actor, then yes, you want to stay as king.
Asking
Correct.
questions.
Correct.
Love it.
So if anybody comes in, like like for instance, people, through all of my dealings with the court, I would just go park in this parking deck that takes pictures of your car, and then if you don't pay, they'll send you a parking ticket, right? So I got my parking ticket, and I said, I know I'm going to get this parking ticket. When I get that parking ticket, I'm not going to handle it like a regular citizen slave or just anybody who just will take their sweat equity and their FRNs and play with and pay with it. I'm going to go through the proper means of accepting their presentment and returning it for valuable consideration through my signature, because I know there's no money.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to take my FRNs, that's a state property as far as I'm concerned. But you can create your own property by, taking my presentment, cashing it in, do whatever you need to do. But I've already paid you, because in the world of bankruptcy where there's no money, your signature is the only thing that holds value. If I did not park in their parking lot, they could not send me a presentment. Period. So I'm creating an opportunity for them to make money. I'll accept it and send it back to them for valuable consideration with my signature.
Well, when interacting with them, you definitely want to be non-combative. You definitely want to be neutral, right? But at the same time, you don't want to be a doormat. So the reason I say ask questions. Oh, hey, what are you doing? Do you understand? I'd be like, hey, can you send me whatever it is you're saying in the mail? Here's my information. Can you send it to me in the mail?
Send it to my office. Send it to my office, because I don't conduct private affairs at my home. Send it to my office.
Well, I don't want that officer to have any excuse to say that I'm being belligerent, that I'm being combative in some sense, that I'm trying to resist something, whatever the hell he's doing. I have
Correct.
to be open and neutral and non-combative. I'd be like, hey, can you send me whatever it is you're trying to tell me in the mail? Can you send it here? Here's my information.
Right, but Tony, do you want it sent to your private domicile? You do not want it sent to you. That's official business. Do not send it to my private domicile, because this is where I privately.
The point is, Mr. Difficult, is that he won't do it. He'll commit mail fraud. That's the point.
Yeah.
Well, let him do it. And that's the thing. Let him do it.
I know, but Mr. Difficult, you're missing the point. The point is to stay in honor, to be in good faith. Like, I know this dude is probably here to be a piece of shit and generate revenue, but I can't assume anything because I don't have evidence that that's what his mindset is. So the only way
I tell you what to do. I'm sorry. I tell you what to do, because I don't want no mail about official business coming to my domicile. Period. So if you set your office up, you send it to my office so we can conduct official business. You send it to my office, and if you send it to my home, I'm going to hit you with mail fraud.
Okay.
I've already put you on notice. Do not send it to my home.
Yeah.
Domicile.
I think we're talking past each other, Mr. Difficult. What I'm saying,
Tony's trying to be ahead of the game, saying I'm staying in honor and I'm asking him to do so, but we also are, it's like when you send your court documents and you know they're not going to respond to them. So therefore he's saying before it even gets to a point where he's going to send something to me, it doesn't matter.
That's on them. That's on them. You put them on proper notice. You send them lex domicili, the law of the domicile, your attestation of domicile. Where is your office set up to do official business?
We get it,
Because
Mr.
that's
Difficult. Like
no. But like, listen to me. Hold on. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be combative.
Okay.
But if I got this letter, I will tell you what I would do with it.
I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. You don't want to do any business out, from your
My home is private. Please do not send anything to my private domicile. Do not send anything to my. And then you send them that lex domicili. The law of the domicile. You have the right to choose your corporate headquarters, people.
Yeah.
And that's official business that they're sending you. Period.
No,
Now don't send it to my home, because my home is where I just live my private life in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Because I have the right, substantive right. And that's a word that we all need to really start using.
Right. Okay, so Mr. Difficult, all I'm saying is
Sorry.
all I'm saying is that we must be in peace and neutrality. Although you very much probably do suspect that this douchebag is here to try to drain your life force energy out of you, even though you're pretty sure that that's what he's trying to do by forcing you into a contract, right? The idea is that I can't just assume that. I don't know what's inside of his head. The only way that I'm going to know what's inside of his head is if he gives me his thinking. And here's the thing, his words that are coming out of his mouth, I can't verify those to be true. So I want it in writing. And so,
Correct.
but I don't want to be combative with the man. So I want to say, hey, can you just send me whatever it is that you're trying to tell me, whatever you think I did or whatever's going on here?
So-
can you send that to me in writing? Can you send it here to
Correct.
my location? Right. And the idea that's the point that I'm trying to make, because he will not do it, because that will officially, if he sends you a bunch of fraud, which can now be verified in writing, he's on the hook for that. That's the point I'm trying to make. He won't do it.
No, I get it. No, but like, I agree with everything you're saying. But Tony,
but I'm telling you that it's a way to stay in honor and avoid being combative. Therefore,
and you always stay as the executor. You always stay in honor. But where is he sending it? Is he sending it to your home, or is he sending it to your office?
The point is he's not going to send it to you at all. That's what Tony's trying to say. He's trying to put him in a position where he's not going to do so. So
No, I get that. I get that. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? Like, listen to me. Please, people, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut everybody off, but are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you send that correspondence to me, are you sending it to who? Who are you sending it to? Are you sending it to the decedent? Because if they send it to your home address, that's the last known address. You have to change your last known address with these people to your office and cease and desist all communications to my private domicile.
Heard.
And send it to my office, right?
Heard.
Mr. Difficult, this is what he's saying. The key is to get evidence in court. So you're building your evidence if this man mails you anything on top of him committing mail fraud, point blank, period. What
Correct.
he's saying is he's not even going to acknowledge mailing you anything.
Yep.
Unless what?
That's all he was saying.
Unless what? No, I get that. I promise people, I love everybody. I love everybody here. But if I get correspondence from these people after putting them on notice to not send it to my private domicile and send it to my office, that's another mail fraud on top of the all caps name and any other defects that I can amass from them sending me something to my private domicile.
Heard.
That is all I'm saying. Once you put them on notice with that lex domicili, okay, the law of the domicile, your attestation of domicile, where your corporate headquarters is located, and they Keep sending correspondence to your private domicile, mail fraud, and anything else you guys could come up with. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and
You're both correct.
this is just what it is. Once you do put them on notice, they're gonna cut all correspondence. Period,
Mhm.
because they're hip to the game. They made it. You
Yeah.
think they
Correct.
don't know? You think they don't know when they're gonna put themselves on the hook? They are never gonna
Correct.
put themselves on the hook knowingly.
Correct. Because
You gotta.
they cannot
So,
place liability on themselves. They are always trying to shift that liability onto you.
so check it out. With the clean hands, it's easy to catch bees with honey. If
Hmm.
you got a
Correct.
shitty attitude and you being combative with them,
Nobody's
they're not even
nobody's
gonna.
doing that.
They're not
Nobody's
even
doing
gonna
that. Once I put
acknowledge
them
it.
on notice, I understand what you're saying. Like, please understand what I am saying. Once I
Nah,
put
I
you on
understand what you
notice,
said.
once I put you on notice to cease and desist all mail at this location and send it to my office, all official business needs to be sent to my office, not to my private domicile.
For sure.
Now you're conducting business.
I actually have a document about mail, and I don't disagree or anything with what you're saying at all, Mr. Difficult. But I have a document about mail and how you're still in commerce even if you have a PO box.
It's not a PO box. It's a general post. It's a general
Yeah.
post office off. When you
Yeah.
say
No.
PO, right? Like my box. Once I get it set up, because I'm starting to realize I need to do more steps in order to really finalize it, right? Because when I sent the postmaster my lex domicili, my attestation of domicile, I started getting notifications that the post office is changing my address with certain individual corporations. My bank was the first one.
Hmm.
I did not notify my bank that I changed my address for the office of the estate. Okay?
Yeah.
The post office did it for me. Now it's on me to address all the other minimum contacts that come underneath that.
Hmm.
Please, all correspondence does not come to my private domicile. It goes to the office
Hmm.
because you guys are conducting official business.
Yeah.
So if you're going to conduct business, do not send it to my private abode, my domicile. Send it to my office and let my office deal with it.
No, it totally makes sense. I was just gonna say, yeah, your office is still it's commerce, but there's also, like you said, the general
It
mail,
is.
which keeps your personal mail. Like if I want to mail you a letter, friend to friend, you want to have your mail delivered, general
You
mail
wouldn't
to
have sent that from
the
the
person.
office, though.
No,
You
no,
wouldn't
no.
send that from the office.
Okay, I guess this one's hard to explain. I actually will email you this document. It's actually pretty interesting about the mail. I'm more curious to go back to though, Tony, and dealing with getting pulled over by the cops, and not just, hey, mail this to me, but like others other things you might do when you encounter them, because I'm just curious about that, because I'm apprehensive to take the step of going private plates and all that. I'm just curious of any interactions you said you've actually had.
I've definitely had a bunch. Yeah, like I don't know what it is about highway cops or just on the road. That's where I've dealt with the majority of things that I've dealt with. But yeah, I mean, another thing is because you that's the danger with being dumb. There's these officers, a lot of these people, these policy officers. They don't understand the law most of the time any better than the average regular man or woman, and so there is the danger of them hurting you, right? Because they'll be like, "You getting smart with me," right? And so a number of my interactions are just like, "This is one of those dudes that'll probably like." I was like, "I don't feel like getting my ass kicked and thrown in a cell today, just to freaking teach this guy a lesson on what's up." So most of the time, I'll just sit there and say as little as possible. Um, More recently, my claim on my documentation that usually sparks up something, and they usually stop right there. But other times I've seen in other states that I've been in, they'll go full force with it. Like they'll still keep going because they're programmed and they're got the motions down, so they'll go through it. So really, once I just get that fraudulent documentation in my hand, I go to town on it and start showing how it's fraudulent, and then I give them back their property, and I do a 3-day rescission within 3 days, right? So I send him a copy because his information's right there, police station name and badge number, and then usually they circle the court or whatever that you got to go to. So I send that there, and I put the reference of the ticket or number that they use in connection with it, and then I put to the clerk, and then I put a stamp on the envelope that says evidence, right? So they know that it's evidence in reference to that number, and I give them back their property. So I've notified the court, and then I've send one directly to the officer himself. And the reason you want to put the officer or the individual's name on it is because you want to hold him specifically responsible for it.
Okay, fair enough. Now, so you drive with private plates? I take it.
I drive with none. I mean, I travel with freaking none.
Sorry, yeah, travel. So you travel with none. You didn't even bother with the private plate. Now, do you carry a driver's license?
I have this document that is sometimes called by that. I have a quantum claim on it.
Okay. I was just curious, because one of the biggest things I've seen is they're so adamant about give me your license, and they get really crappy with you when you don't want to show it to them. So I was just curious about that.
Well, you got to show some kind of. You have to have some kind of ID. One thing too that I think is another route you can go. You can get your passport or get the passport ID card.
Yeah.
I carry that too. So when I'm traveling, I give them my passport ID card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another route you can go. And then I've made a quantum claim on all of them. All of them. My passport, my passport ID card, my the license, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right. And I literally, okay, so I got stopped in Tennessee not too long ago. And this is the first time I think I'd come across a policy officer who knew what the fuck was up.
Right.
It was the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office.
Mm.
And this guy ended up, the regular foot trooper doesn't usually know this stuff, the rookie who pulled you over, whatever, but he calls his supervisor, and his supervisor was like a sergeant above, usually like sergeants and lieutenants above, especially if they're sheriffs. They're starting to catch on to this stuff. They're starting to figure out some of what's going on. And
their liability to their actions, right? Sorry.
So this guy, I gave him the document, the license, which I knew had a quantum claim on it. This dude, even though I saw it sitting there right on his clipboard, he was not going back to his car to run it. It was as if he knew what would pop up on his screen when he did it. He was trying to refuse. He was like trying hard to not see me as that, and he was trying to interact with me to try to capture me through my words. Mm-hmm. So he was right doing this thing. So they'll play the social hacking mind psych game on you. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to intimidate you. He's like trying to look at me like I'm in trouble and trying to do the intimidating thing. And then he was trying to ask me questions like he's my damn master. And so they'll play that game, and what he's trying to do is to try to get you to he's trying to capture your words. He's trying to capture you. He's trying to get you on something that will get you to acknowledge him as an authority. And he's like, and he literally dead ass looked right at me, because I'd never had an interaction with somebody who actually knew what the fuck was. I was like, ooh, this guy knows what's going on. He knows what's up. And he's like, and he said, so do you got a driver's license or anything like that? And I'm literally looking at it sitting right there on his clipboard. He's holding it in his hand. It's clipped to his clipboard while he's filling out the freaking document thing that he's going to give me. And I'm like, sir, I've given you everything that you need. And I'm literally like pointing at it. And he's like, oh, that's no good. Yeah, that's no good. He's like, whatever. And so then I see him and his buddy literally looking at it. And they're like, staring at it. They're like, oh my goodness. Yeah, this was just last year. Like I just got it because I just got it last year. And they're literally looking at it. And so they'll do that too. They'll try to play this game like they know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. and you just got to be prepared for any kind of those games because they're starting to figure this. They're starting to figure out ways to capture you by your words.
Mm-hmm.
Intimidation, duress, and coercion. That's their tactics.
Well,
I'm curious to think if I gave him my military ID, because there was one time I didn't have my license on me and I got pulled over like a year or so ago. And this was before I even knew about the, driving versus traveling stuff. Had just gotten into learning about the rest of this stuff. And I gave them my military ID and they actually let me go, which I was shocked about. And didn't do anything. They just said, thank you for your service, and, went on my merry way. And I was just like, okay, But I also do know that with the military, like if they were to give me a ticket, they'd have to take me actually, and do paperwork for the military, and it actually cost them like twice as much paperwork. But it's not like I gave them my military ID on purpose, like for that reason. But
because you're out of their jurisdiction. So
yeah,
let me tell you something. So a regular police officer, this is why you got to know the law of the flag.
okay,
The flag sets the venue. So if I remember correctly, I think it's Title 35, 176, subsection G. It's a desecration of the flag. I don't believe I don't if I remember I couldn't find it listed. I think now on the official United States Code website, it officially lists that section as like non like omitted. You know how some of the sections it says like excluded or blanked or the numbers just missing altogether. So on the normal website, it's like not showing it anymore, but you can find the old PDF of 176 Title 35 176 subsection G floating around. You can find the old PDF and just read it, and it doesn't even take that long. And once you read just like a couple paragraphs down, you see desecration of the flag. So if they are wearing any flag on their uniform and it's got a gold fringe, right? Because their flag patches will always have gold fringe around it, right? That is either military function or it's a desecration of the flag. Now, these dudes aren't officially in the military. They're operating for private entities, and they don't know that. These police departments, these sheriffs, they're operating for the private entities, and they don't know that. So that's why the flag that they carry is not for military function. It's desecration of a U.S. flag because they're not representing any formal military function. Because they're representing private entities.
yeah.
So,
The military flag that they have on their uniform, it's a flag with a gold fringe. I never even thought about that because you hear about the flags in the courtroom all the time.
right. So you can do that right there on his uniform. You can point to. I've done that with police officers. I was like, "What's that flag right there?" Because he had a camouflage American flag. I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "That's not registered on anywhere on the face of the planet." I was like, "That's desecration of U.S. flag." Or if you're telling me it's not a U.S. flag or an American flag, then you're operating as a privateer.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tony, can I ask you a question, brother?
Yeah. What's up?
Most people, because they get all their information from YouTube, right? And I've realized this just by watching the YouTube. After I've been exposed to certain knowledge, okay, or certain information, and I'm watching these sovereign citizen fail videos, and I'm rolling my head at the person. I'm like, yo, this dude is a sovereign citizen. This chick is a sovereign citizen because first of all, they showed up in that. But like, let me not get into that. But my thing is, damn, I forgot my question.
So you can have the correct paperwork and everything like that, but if you express,
Oh, it was venue. I'm sorry. It was venue. It was venue. People are always challenging jurisdiction, but they forget about the venue, and the venue determines the jurisdiction. So if you're in the venue challenging jurisdiction, they're not going to hear you. They can't hear you, people. You need to
No,
challenge the venue.
they already have jurisdiction if you showed up.
Correct. But they have jurisdiction in that venue. Now,
so
you don't challenge. I'm sorry. You do not challenge the jurisdiction because the venue determines the jurisdiction, people.
Yeah. Yes, you get them. You get them
That
to
court hears
identify the
all
venue.
subject matter, all in personam errors, all territorial matters. They hear everything in that venue. So you need to move out of that venue back into a venue that will honor the Constitution.
Well, yes. So that's why I'm saying the whole point of pointing out a flag patch on an officer's uniform is
Right.
you can say
Right.
that you have reason to believe that his venue is unidentified. Right. So that's desecration of a U.S. flag. Wait, are you telling me, officer, that that is an official flag? Oh, well, you got a gold fringe around it. Oh, are you in the military? You're not. Are you performing a military function? No, you're not. Okay, well, then that's desecration of
Wow.
the U.S. flag.
Come on with it, Tony. Like,
Um,
That's a
cause I
war.
I
That
have a challenge. I have a challenge of venue template out there, but I don't bring up the flag because I don't know that flag stuff. But that was just good right there.
no,
That's
good stuff.
that's a wartime flag. We POWs. We're under martial as we speak. This
Yeah.
is what people need to understand. This people taking this too lightly, as if your life don't depend on it.
Right.
Like seriously, like if
Come
you
on, Noble.
understood,
Let y'all let Noble speak for a minute. Get it
if
all
you
out,
un-
brother.
if you understood what was really going on, you know what I mean? Like the key is to just stay away from these people. Period. If you don't got to do commerce with them, don't do it. Stay to yourself. Get you a small nation of people. You know what I mean? Like, and mind your business. Because anything to do with anything in this system, no matter how you put it, is nothing good to come out of it. And this is what you were saying about your creation, Mr. Difficult. I was catching what you were saying. Like, you saying, I got a whole situation right now that I can make a whole lot of money off of, but it's not going to be in the benefit of the people. And I'm torn because I done spent a lot of time to build it. Now that I've built it, I don't even know whether or not I should put this out because I know it ain't gonna do nothing but rip the people off. I
Correct.
heard what you said that you was doing.
Thank
If
you,
you
brother.
build
Thank you,
something of
brother.
that nature,
Thank you, brother.
yeah, you know ain't nothing good gonna come out of it. The only people that's gonna win is you and them. And if they don't want you, if they don't want to share it with you, you know they ain't got no problem unaliving people. People have accidents. Trust me.
So I gotta go here in a second because I got believe it or not, actually, I'm attending a course with Russell, right? That Russell's going to be teaching here in a little bit online. So I gotta go. I gotta get ready for that. But before I go, if they do not identify their venue correctly, you can always point that out. And honestly, that should
Right.
be the first thing you ever notice wherever you go. If you're walking into a courtroom, is the flag. Flag outside of the courtroom is different from the one sitting behind the judge.
Mm,
Flag on a police officer's uniform is different. So
mm.
if he's not in the military, then he is performing either
Impersonating an officer.
he's either desecrating a U.S. flag, or if he's not in the military, that means he's a privateer. But he's not going to come right out and tell you that because he doesn't know that. He doesn't know the people that he works for. But that's what it is. He's representing a rogue agency, a private agency.
Right.
So, and then one more thing before I go. So you identify that.
Wait,
Uh,
Tony.
what?
I'm sorry. You don't have to do it, but I changed the background so like it'll be more well fitting to what we're talking about. But please continue.
All right. Well, I got to go after this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
So, what was I saying about venue? So the flag. So the reason he probably didn't do anything to you, Divine, is because you identified yourself as something in the military venue, which the only way that I think you could do that is court martial, so postal, right, official military function, and he's a privateer, so he has no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
I wondered that, and I thought maybe I'll just carry my military ID from now on. I'm just over it.
Well, who are the
It's a
ultimate
complete
enforcers
difference.
on the planet? Who are the ultimate enforcers of contract? The military. So, and the military protects the postal routes and things like that. That's why when you sign a draft card, you go to where? The post office.
Yeah.
So,
Don't kill the messenger.
so he is a privateer. He has a desecrated flag on his arm patch. So he's not representing anything that is official and military function. He's representing a rogue agency, although he's too dumb to know that. His computer's probably just going to simply tell him that he doesn't have jurisdiction.
Nice.
Correct.
I didn't know that. Like I said, I was just an accident that because I carry my military ID everywhere because benefits you can get from that. Like I said, it was before I knew anything about the driving versus traveling stuff. I was, still kind of new into all this stuff. So I just thought, why don't I just carry that from now on? And maybe they'll just leave me alone on that behalf because it's irritating to try and, not be combative, but yet they think you are being.
Well, keep in mind, and I swear this is the last thing I say before I go. What you say can sometimes override what you did. Like, right, it all depends on how you express. So if you start capitulating to too many of their questions, they're going to assume you want a contract with them. So just keep that in
I
mind.
didn't say anything, and actually they wanted to search my vehicle, and I said fine, because there's nothing in it, and I wasn't worried about it or anything. So I let them search my vehicle, and while I stood outside, they called like 2 other cop cars, and I'm not even sure why. There's 3 cop cars there, and they had pulled me over because my tail light had went out, and I knew it had. I had the new bulb sitting on my seat when he pulled me over. Even I was like, yes, I'm going home to fix it now, and. So I sat there quietly. I didn't answer anything to them. I have gotten to that point.
Intimidation. It's intimidation. Like they want you to feel like you have to contract with them. But anyways, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for this course. But y'all have a blessed Saturday, and I'll catch y'all later.
Appreciate you, Tony.
Thanks for coming
Tony,
in.
hey, Tony the Tiger, man. Thank you for coming through, man. Everybody give love to Tony when he's on his exit, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, see you, Tony.
I got something about that too that he was saying that the first thing you notice when you go to these courts. So in my state, one of the courthouses, they blatantly show a lot of Saturn worship. And what I mean by that is they have a dome at the top of their little building, and then in the front they have a obelisk right in the front of the property to show you that they don't operate on normal things. And me and Difficult fucking joke around about this a lot, but what is the court for? The summoning the dead, because it's all fiction.
Yeah.
Correct. Come on with it, Moon.
So you see what I'm saying? And then you go into what even the deeper moment or the deeper move of the things is they give you a TV. A TV is a black screen, the black mirror. And what does that do? That programs your mind. Because if you go and look at the old patent, the original patent for the TV, it was literally made to brainwash. Literally. Because when you're sitting down watching TV and you're watching it, they noticed when they were doing the tests before they let it out to the public is that you're taking things on beta mode, but your subconscious is alpha. Or no, you're in alpha mode, but your subconscious will catch things. So it was quite a few years back. Some dude sued McDonald's or the television company that was airing a game, a gladiator game. We'll say it was a football game, but it was a Super Bowl. But he recorded it because he had to work or whatever, so he couldn't watch the game when it happened. So he turned it on, and this was back when there was VCRs. So he went and turned it on, and he noticed halfway through the game that there was a flash. And at the first time he watched it, he said he didn't notice the flash. But the second time he watched it, he noticed the flash. So he stopped and rewound it, and then paused when it flashed, and it was a McDonald's ad. And the reason why he sued is because he was opening the floodgates to prove that they're trying to brainwash us. Because while he was watching it, or while everybody was watching it, even though they didn't catch this, when that flash of that McDonald's ad hit it, uh, uh, it sparked in the subconscious of the people who was watching, and then they probably went and got McDonald's. Because you retain things in your subconscious level. When you retain things in your subconscious level, you'll act out upon that without even realizing you're acting out upon that. This is also why when they say when you want to learn something to fall asleep with it while you're listening to it. Some people do it when they're learning a new language. So like I was just piggybacking on the stuff that you see when you're out in the world. What Tony was saying was because they put it out in front of you. They put it out that they don't follow the God of the Bible. And keep in mind, public law 92, I think it is, or 94, says that the law of the land is the Bible. So it just goes to show that they're operating on a different system, and we don't know that system. And going into court, you're just summoning the dead because fiction can only attack fiction.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good stuff.
Fiction can only bring claims against fictions.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of us have a fiction bringing claims against us. Now, there are some people who have victims, and we'll put another 5% on top of that, who have victims, but the victims are being brought as witnesses for the state, where in the state's bringing the claim. The other 5% is actually brought by a victim against a defendant or somebody who they're actually bringing a claim against in a true and fair, equitable court.
Yeah, and we got to keep that principle in mind. Like, if you did hurt someone or if someone was injured, there's no getting out of this stuff. Like, you can't get out of nothing. That's a lot of things that I've noticed in this space. That a lot of people in this space of information, they think that they could just get out of court situations or whatever, and we can't do that if you actually hurt somebody. We gotta know that principle. Your common law principles are: don't harm nobody physically, don't thief from nobody, and make sure that all your contracts are on the up and up, meaning clean hands and even-handed dealing,
Right. Now,
which is all equity.
like the best way I describe it on a colloquial level is what happened to OJ. They charged him criminally. That was the state. He got off with the state, but he still had to face civil charges. And that's when they got him.
Well, yeah, they're going to, because if they can't get you in one space, they're gonna try to get you in the other, because
If
they
the
can't just
victim so
openly
choose
show
to
the
do
public.
so.
They
If
can't
the
openly show the public. The public will sit there and find all this stuff out, and then they'll realize the truth. So they're not gonna do that. Just like
right,
on
right,
Yusuf Val's videos, he says that even if you do an acceptance for value or some other shit like that, it'll look in the public like you pled guilty, but you actually settled it outside of court. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't want the public to know this. The public is
right,
not supposed to know this unless you're looking into law. So these are just some of the tactics that they'll do to you. They'll tell you that ignorance of the law is no excuse. But then when you start playing their game the way that they're supposed to play it, then they'll tell you, do you have a license to practice law? But if you're in fact, then you don't need a license. You're in fact. You're an attorney in fact. That's what a POA does. Put you as attorney in fact, not attorney at law. You got to understand those differences too.
right. Because what happens at the end of the day, why are they trying to put that attorney on you? Because that attorney follows the rules of the bar. Now,
We also established this the other day too, though, with AMPU. When you get an attorney, you sign over a POA, and when you sign over a POA, you signed over all your shit, all your rights. And now
exactly.
they have all the rights to do or to speak for you and sign for you.
They have
So
all the rights to conduct business in their own way.
yeah, by speaking or signing for you. Now you got to think about that. Let that sit in for a little bit, folks, because that means that they can sign for you or sign your name for something. The things that we've been learning that they do in the background, and then
Okay?
they can also speak for you. So
Mm,
people cry and complain and say that, oh, they're hooking me over, having that victim mentality, and technically you gave up that right. You're not a victim. You stated when you signed a POA or when you got a lawyer
that you were aware of what you were doing, and that goes back to a contract.
Right. So Moon, like, so that just goes to show how people just sign things without reading them. Because if you sign on, because they make you sign in order to get either a private attorney or a court appointed attorney, guess what? You got to sign for both of them.
Well, a lot of
And
people don't realize that they do it all the time. They do it with social media apps, terms and services.
of
Did you
course,
read those terms and
of course,
services? No.
but when you right, no one ever does. But the thing is, when you're in that court and you're signing away your rights, which is clearly defined in that document they give you to sign, that you are waiving rights and accepting the privilege of a public defender. It's clear and defined in this, and like, I know this not from my personal experience because I've never accepted a public defender, but I've had a private defender. And guess what? I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I never read it. I just said,
So
I
that's
just
the
need,
thing.
I just need this handled with. So let me just pay this guy $3,500, and then I'll pay him another $3,500, plus all fees on top. I ended up paying this guy like $8,000, $9,000.
But then that goes to show that this is why the lawyers on YouTube are going and capitulating this programming that sovereign citizen fail videos or these people are dumb and they don't know what they're talking about. So that way
Right?
they can protect their financial interest
Correct.
in their business.
We were just talking about that.
Because everybody
In
takes
their
like
business.
like Ampu says, everything is business, nothing is personal, but people take things personally. And they've also programmed us to take things personally. This is why they have professional psychologists saying things and doing things and creating new terms so that way you can get upset.
Like,
This is why they
right,
keep the race thing
exactly.
going too, as well, in the public, because the race thing creates an emotional response. You see some
Yup.
dude getting treated unfairly, and all they got to do is say that it was a race thing, and then you're upset.
Sorry.
Yep.
See what I'm
Or
saying?
or even better, they don't have to say it's a race thing. You will say it's a race thing because you believe in that shit.
Well, because you were programmed to that shit.
Right?
That's
So
awesome.
that's why I agree with the teacher in saying readers create leaders. Because if you don't read the shit, if you don't learn the history, his story, you ain't gonna be able to create your story.
We were
And you
talking.
ain't, and you're just gonna be going into the courts talking shit because you don't have
Talking
the
shit.
proper status, standing, and position.
And if you did, you wouldn't even have to go in there.
Exactly. And then where does everything start? Difficult.
At the post office.
So and people don't realize that. I had to take a second and realize that shit because I was like, what does he mean by that? Da, 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 da. Like when I first heard it and shit. And then he mentioned it and explained it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because when you leave your mommy and daddy, what do? When you go get your first house or first apartment, you go straight to the post office. Now, conveniently, because the post office is now converted to the postal services, they give you
Mm-hmm.
they give you a card for their service for free benefit. Homegirl was in here saying that she carries her military ID because she has certain benefits that she gets off of that. Well, we're stuck in benefits and privileges. So if you look into the history of the second Constitution, because there are two constitutions, there's the constitutions for the United States of America, and then there's the United States. There's the Constitution of the United States. Take out
Right.
the of
Move with it.
America. So when you look at the one for the United States, it says that our labor is backed on our tax. Our taxes are backed by our labor, and that all U.S. citizens accept benefits and privileges. And if you look at how people move in life, they do. How many people have food stamps? How many people have a Social Security payment coming to them every month? Those are benefits and
Benefits.
privileges. So
Benefits.
since they're benefit and privileges, when you go into court and you're accepting these things, you're just talking shit because you're accepting benefits. A right is something you enforce. Hey, I have a right because I'm in my proper status, standing, and position. But if you're a U.S. citizen, you don't have a right. You never had rights. Because you're an enemy belligerent combatant, rebel.
Bro,
So
facts.
like, here's the
Oh
thing, right?
shit.
To build off of that, Moon. So say for instance, you are standing on your rights and you don't want to accept privileges or benefits.
You got an X?
Even by right, you are due those benefits and privileges even by right.
Facts.
Because who? Because
You are
who
due,
created the government?
you're due to
Yeah, but if
what
you're a U.S. citizen, that's the the corporate
Right.
government.
But the
So it's
U.S.
not the
citizen did not create the government. The people did.
exactly,
So
exactly.
if you're coming from a position of the people, man and woman, who created the government, you are benefit. You can receive those benefits too. But
Yeah, in the proper way though.
you cannot be denied those benefits by right.
But they're not benefits when you're a living man, woman, and
They are
child.
benefits that are
No,
owed to
they're a
you
right when you're when
because you like here's the thing, if you are within the 19 enumerated services, if you're within the 19 enumerated services defined in the Constitution, those are not benefits to you. Those are owed to you by right. Just
yeah
the
by
way
right. So it's not a
by
benefit.
right. Exactly. That's what I'm
So
saying. It's
see,
not a
you know
right.
what I'm saying? It's not a benefit. It's a right because they're
Correct.
owed to you by a right.
they're
Right.
But
supposed to give you the best that society has to offer when you have
exactly
your status, position, and standing correct. You know what I'm
Correct.
correct
saying?
correct. You
Y'all
have
ever
all.
heard of Droit?
Say it again, brother.
Droit.
Droid. No, I have not heard of that. Is that Unidroid?
It's the highest position and standing on the land, period. It's the blood right. You connect yourself via what they would call it genealogy. You get your genealogy done that ties you to the land, because that's all the post is about, tying you to the land. If you
Correct.
on the land, you can't be at sea on Admiralty. See what I'm saying?
Correct. Right.
This shit really not that hard. We making it hard, yeah. But
I
Well,
agree.
but
I agree.
you gotta know the documents that you need to be looking at. That's the
right.
key.
But who is it hard to, Noble? Who is it hard to? It's the people who are acting
The
without
ones,
knowledge.
right? The ones without eyes to see. The ones
Well,
without
also the
ears
ones
to
that
hear.
refuse to read though too.
Seek and you shall
That as
find.
well. Right.
Because
Seek, seek
Noble
and you
said it
shall
right
find.
there. Noble said it right there. It's not that hard, but you just got to read the proper stuff to know. But people don't want to read; they want shit handed to them. A benefit.
They do. They do. But they wouldn't know what to read if they was not searching for it. And in seek and ye shall find, will you find yourself finding things and reading things because out of the necessity of your soul you want to know it.
Facts.
It's not because I'm trying to get through this process. I want to know the whole thing. I want to be able to cover the bread from crust to crust.
How can you fix the problem if you never identify it?
Exactly.
You just wandering aimlessly.
Right.
And anybody who wants something given to them or expect to be led somewhere as a follower, well, listen,
So, well, like at the end of the day, when you say something given to them, what is ultimately given to them through this movement that we're doing? It's knowledge. It's knowledge. It's information that you have not been previously privy to. And now, even if you get your hand held through a certain process, now you let them go. You're on your own now. Isn't that what the courses these people are teaching? Isn't that what they're doing? I don't see it as a class. I see it as a guide. These people who are teaching classes, these are guides because you can get this knowledge from that person and that knowledge from that person. but you're gonna be unturning stones at every step in your journey. You know what I mean? And if you got to go through a couple of classes, because folks is putting the classes out there.
Well, but also the reason why people are so good are so prevalent on trying to jump in these people's classes is because this stuff was supposed to be taught to us from kindergarten to 12th,
Right?
but it wasn't. And the reason why it wasn't was because they went and state incorporated the public schools. The schools are
Seek,
called public.
seek, and ye shall find. It's
So,
only going to be privy to the people who seek it.
but also on
Those
that
who
point
don't want to
too,
seek it, those who don't want to seek it will remain in the dark. People
I
like
think it
us,
has to be
we want
more
to
about
seek it.
moral grounds though, because a lot of people are jumping in these people's classes with the intention to get that bag or that private account or whatever. And what they're not understanding is they're not understanding the history. There is an account, but it's not for you to just take money from. People want money.
So I ask you this, Moon. Why do they want the bag? Why do they want the bag?
That would have to do with freaking the conditioning that we were talking about.
Of course. Of course. So that's influence, right?
Conditioning, yeah, the
We've been
conditioning.
influenced to shine better than other people, right? But people in our community, we're not focused on the shine, we're focused on the freedom.
Well, but not everybody is. A lot of people came into this information before they got into the freedom, or a lot of people came into this information not having to deal with a court case or whatever. They just heard some person articulating their vocabulary in a particular manner that hit them in the thing like, oh, what? I can get a bag, or oh, what? Because that has to go back with the programming. People were programming conditioned to believe that they can get money, and then you got rap stars.
I got
No, well,
money to blow,
yeah,
blow,
you got
blow.
rap stars saying nothing about
Right.
men and females, which is a man's ultimate goal is to find a woman, and then and then you got actors and actresses glamorized on TV showing how they live the best life ever. So everybody wants to do that.
Right.
People,
Right.
all I hear is that old song, "Money, Power, Respect." That's what I always.
Exactly.
That's all people are after, and that's the wrong motive in this. You can't have that motive, or you're not gonna succeed in this. I don't think. If that's your only motive.
Well, yeah, because you got to understand that that's what people want. Is people want money. People want, but they don't understand that money isn't real.
Right.
The law dictionary that defines money defines money as something of substance, gold or silver coin.
Yep.
Are we using that? No, we're not. We're using paper,
Fiat.
cotton paper, fiat, something that's not backed by substance.
Substance. And what creates substance? What creates substance?
Something tangible.
Yeah. Yeah. Something equitable. Something you can hold in your hand that you can see, feel.
So, like, if you look into what money is, it's a medium of exchange. Okay, so if you're in jail, a pack of cigarettes is substance,
Right.
right? It's not gold, it's substance, something that is of value in your environment. So, money is nothing but a medium of exchange. I'll give you this, you give me that. That's called consideration. And that exists in any contract that you come across.
Yeah.
Any contract, because any transaction is a contract. Now that
Bargaining
contract's
trade.
closed, right, at the end of the contract. But you agree upon that. Yo, give me like, give me that sexy dirty magazine, and I'm gonna give you 3 packs of cigarettes. And the
Hey,
dude's
yo,
like,
Mr.
cool.
Difficult, you been on the yard?
Never been on the yard, but I know it.
You talk like it.
Right? Because this is, to me, this is common knowledge. Because
Facts.
not only that, bro, but I'm talking to a lot of people in jail, and I'm like, I had to back away from it because it was killing my soul. Because I can't do nothing for these people.
Yeah.
That was killing my soul because we're fighting and we can't get them out. So like, let me take 2 steps forward and take 2 steps back, and then get my Paul Abdul on,
But we
because
also got to understand too, though.
opposites attract. But here's the thing: we are opposites. We are the people. They are the dead. Okay.
We also got to understand though, like, because especially when it comes to the people that are in jail or whatever, or are dealing with that type of hardship,
It could be
uh,
any one of us. It could be any
it
one
could
of us,
be
and
any
that's
one
what
of us.
motivates me.
But what
Sorry.
I'd also noticed though is that a lot of people will lie to someone they're trying to have help them because they got fixated that they think you can help them. And what they
Right.
don't understand is they're not keeping an eye on them three fundamental principles. Did they hurt somebody? Did they steal from somebody? Did they keep their hands clean? No. And a lot of
Correct.
people will try to obfuscate that. They'll say, "Oh no, I didn't hurt nobody," or "Oh no, I didn't do that," or "Oh no, no, it's good." But then you go and read their paperwork, and you're trying to help this person, and then you have to confront them, like, "Bro, like you lied to me. Like you didn't tell me you hurt someone. I didn't know. I can't really help you if you hurt someone, bro. The only thing I can do is tell you this, this, that, and the third." But you know what I mean? Like
So
that's why I get it when they say be mindful on when you're trying to help people, because sometimes people won't tell you the truth for certain reasons, and it's
you
because they
can't
don't
save
want.
everybody.
Yeah, and
Right.
you can't save everybody,
Right.
and some people need, and at the end of the day, people need to save themselves, because
Correct.
how can you know if someone's saving you, if someone's your savior? You won't. You just got saved. You don't know how it was done. You just know it got done. So this
And
is
I've come
why I believe in reading. Readers create leaders.
right, and you got to be able to turn the people away who you can't really talk to. And I've been faced with that, man, and I didn't know what to do at the time. You know what I mean? Because a few a few people came at me, and I was just like, well, bruh, bruh. Not only do you have one victim, you got multiple victims. So the stacks is all like the odds are stacked against you. And like, here's the thing, right? What I told him was, if you want that case to end in a fair and just decision, you're not going to get that in the state. The state's going to put you in jail. You understand?
Yeah.
The
No,
state is
you know,
just going to charge you. What's the charge? What is the charge? It's a debit at the end of the day, right? They're going to charge you with a crime. Now, if you go into that court with real victims who are bringing quote unquote charges against you, what there are claims, right? Damages, that should be handled in a civil matter,
yeah.
should it not? But the state comes in and charges you with a crime. Now, these are all civil matters, especially if they're live living victims. That needs to be brought to a court of equity so that everything is fair and just, can be executed under natural law given by the Most High, not by some dudes sitting behind the bench.
But what have we learned though too? Also, if you deem yourself a U.S. citizen, you can't ask for those type of things because you're part of the
Right?
corporation.
Correct. But you got to be able to know that.
That's
So,
like
like, I
someone.
wouldn't
That's like
seek.
someone at Walmart trying to go to the courts after they got fired for some malicious or some malfeasance technical
Correct.
rule in Walmart.
Correct. Correct. But what I'm saying to this guy was, I don't feel bad for what you're going through because you have victims, my friend. But you're not going to get equity, anything fair and just, because he had people writing for him too. But he had 4 victims. So take it out of the court of law, where legislation means law, and put it in the court of equity. So that, if you got to do time, which you probably will, and I told him that, dog, you're going to do time, but it would be fair and just. It would not be in order to make them money.
And even in some of these other spaces that are in this particular venue of information, they say the same thing. You got to know when you've been defeated. You got to understand when you are in the wrong. If you can't govern yourself to
Accordingly.
yeah to understand that did something wrong or that you are in the wrong, how do you expect to get anything out of this information?
Right.
Because
Like,
Ampu says, sovereignty is autonomy.
right. Now, if I ever did anybody wrong, I would do the same thing. I would get the state off my back and try to make the victims whole, like the Most High intended. Like, I don't need the state to get into my affairs. I will settle it with them. I'll make sure that I have bonds in place and insurance policies. You can make people whole if you have all of your affairs in order. You don't need a state to come in and try to dictate how you're going to make your victim whole. And that's where the attorneys come in. And they convince you that you've done something wrong, and they bring the victims in as witnesses for the state, not for themselves. They didn't bring the claim, the state did. So that's how, like, my understanding of how all crimes are commercial. They've codified all the fucking crimes, and they can charge you back with it with a bill based on an act because they're all actors. Now, if you choose to act in their theater, then pay up. But if you don't want to be a part of that fiction, get out of it immediately.
And that lies the main thing. Feed to read, or feed by reading. We feed by what we read. And when we read, we eat. Because
That don't feed the body, that feeds the soul, because that's going to always stick with you. That will
either way,
always stick.
feeding yourself is gaining something of sustenance.
Correct. To
So
your soul, people, to your spirit, not to your body.
feeding the soul, spirit, or mind, it's the same thing. Just like the Bible says that when you read the scripture, it can, the God will provide. You don't need food or water.
The best way I can describe it is, right, when they build things that can conduct electricity, they're building man-made contraptions in order to harness what is naturally there around you. You know what I mean?
Well, the devil is always going to plagiarize what God did.
Exactly. Legal is the undoing of God's law, which is actual law. Legal is man, whatever man writes down. He's undoing God's law. Now, like, to me, that's why I don't even want to put no codes on none of my pleadings anymore. I told Aunt Pooh the other night, bro, you need to have a scripture class. So we're not using USC code nothing, and we come straight from scripture.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100% to that one.
Yeah, but if you're not reading, you know what I'm saying? If you're not reading the scripture, how are you going to know which one to put down?
That's where the class comes in, Moon. You're going to motivate people to learn the scripture. Because here's the thing, that's what got me in Aunt Pooh. With Aunt Pooh, he came with the scripture.
I'll agree with that.
I'm down with that, totally. That yourlaw.org, they're actually a church a group of some sort.
It's a ministry, but what I don't like about that is, I mean, he's still like 501c or whatever. That's still registered with the state. I don't want nothing to do with the state.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm not saying everything about them is right, but like when I found them, I was like, all right, this makes more sense. Because you got to come at them with the scripture, because that's the all high.
That's law. That's
the
law of the land.
That's law. Thank you, Moon. That's law.
That's what they based the Constitution on. That's why we had In God We Trust on this stuff.
Well, even your statutes and laws in codes and stuff are based off of the Bible. And remember, public law. What is it? 92, Mr. Difficult. Public law. What?
I don't know. That's why I need that chorus, bro. I need that chorus, man. I can't ingest things like
remember
that.
that one? It's Public Law 92. I'm gonna say 92, but don't quote me on that because I think it's something in the 90s. But it's back in 1982, Ronald Reagan declared the scripture is the law of the land.
Correct. I don't know the codes, but I know the acts, right? Because it's an act that was imposed upon the people.
I don't know the number. I just know that it's a public law. I'm gonna say between 92 and 94. I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on it.
Right,
But
but what does
hey,
the
bring
quote
bring
unquote?
Ampu said bring him up. He's ready.
Oh shit, he's in there.
All right, let's listen.
Right, let's brother and Pooh,
What up?
what's going on with you?
You tell me.
I mean, we just town halling with the people, bouncing.
Town halling with the people.
Yes, sir. Freedom of
All
speech.
right now.
God given.
October
God given.
October October 4th, 1982.
Reagan.
Yeah.
10-4.
October. Right. And it's 97-280, public law. That's how you know you're talking about law, because they call it the law. They don't call it a statute. They don't call it United States Code. They don't call it, they don't.
But wasn't it with the Trading with the Enemy Act where they turned it from public law to public policy? Or somewhere within that venue or within that time frame, that circa?
He went pause for a second. Give him a second. But yeah, like he was saying, they don't call it law, or they don't call it statute, they don't call it code, they don't call it ordinance. It's called law.
LAW.
Land, air, water.
Dominion. Dominion of all elements of the planet Earth that we live on. Not the world. The world is a matrix. The world is what they create. Now you can be in the world or of the world, right?
Oh, he's talking about my thing about being in the world and of the world. Fiction and lawful is actual and factual.
Correct.
That's like I say.
From the Most High, right?
And man, you have dominion, man. Like I said, go look that word up. See, individuals just want to do these processes and they don't even know what's on the piece of paper. They don't. They hear, oh, I can get the bag from the IRS. Let me go fill out these forms.
Templates.
Yeah. Template babies.
Sure.
Template babies, papas, maybes.
Strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, they want that strawberry shortcake. They love it.
It's short and sweet, right? Right to the point.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
But they don't know nothing.
Yeah. Man, but that's my whole point. Like, you're not gonna know anything because you ain't put no work in to know it.
Right?
You got someone else doing your paperwork for you. Shit, they just became your master.
And I had to
You
run out.
dig?
We're just talking my point about in the world and of the world. And I told you that one of the first conversations we had, I finally realized what that meant, because when you're of the world, you're abiding by man's law. But when you're just in the world, that's when we come back to what we're all learning and being part of God's law again.
Right. Well, the thing is, you're just plugged in at the moment, but you're just like navigating your way through it.
Everyone forgot about the scripture and the Bible, and that they rely on statutes. They rely on men. They rely on men and women tell them how to do and how to operate and manage and control their estate. So, I even put out the office of person and showed them like, hey, this is how they're treating you out here, and this is why. Then I asked the individuals, what put you in the office of person? They don't know because they ain't reading to comprehend. They're speed reading. They want to speed through everything. Oh, just give me my unlimited account now. Give me my black card now. Give me this. Give me that. You ain't none of this shit. How am I gonna give you some shit you ain't even worked for? That don't equate. It's not universal law. It's inadequate. You looking for substance and you ain't putting nothing to make substance.
Right. And that information you give, they still got to put in that work in order to achieve it.
Man, whatever I give them, they got to put in work. Shit.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I'm not giving them anything. I'm letting them know. I'm giving them where to go find it and all that, and they still don't want to fucking read. So, like I said, I don't even want to talk about this shit because, like I said, the individuals don't want to do no work. I tell them right where to go. And they still, oh yeah, poor me. They're doing this, they're doing that. Victim ass mentality.
Right.
Victim mentality. Oh, they're doing this. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna ring the doorbell, knock on the door. I'm gonna hit you in your fucking mouth. And then you're like, oh, why you do that for? And then I'm gonna hit you in the mouth again. Then I'm gonna walk in your house all through it with dog shit on my shoes. And I'm gonna finna rub all the dog shit all through your house. And turn to you and what you gonna do about it? And you still looking at me like deer in the headlight. And I hit you twice. I give you 2 more mouth shots. I turn around and I say, I'll be back tomorrow.
That's what they're doing to us.
Exactly, that's what they're doing to y'all. Shit, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Bunch of bullies.
And they ain't bullying.
They're
marking their territory because you looking like prey.
Right. Because you
They're
don't
preying on you. Prey.
Right, like by Pooh, they're preying on you because you don't know how to stand up for yourself. Even if it means
No,
you got to
because you don't
stand
know
up on your-
yourself.
Exactly.
You don't know yourself. You sitting up here like, oh yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen. You don't know what you are. You just saying some shit, regurgitated shit that they told you who you were. You've been told what to do. You've been told how to think and what to do your whole life. Now you gotta wake up and do something about it and renew your mind. That's why I say step 1, Romans 12. Step 2, Galatians 4, 16. For 6 plus 1 is 7 for when you add the 12 plus the 4. And read the shit with a Bouvier's Law Dictionary. So you get the true meaning, the true purpose, the true intention of that scripture.
Yeah.
I say that enemies don't want to read the scripture. They just rather be, 18 USC 8, and I quote all of them. I'm the statue motherfucking king. I go through with the best of them. Because I used to do all that shit. That's what I'm saying from experience. I know all the UCC codes and all the statutes codes. I know all that. Memorized to a T. What good is it? I'm going to memorize all their copyrighted war power statutes. Instead of what? Instead of using the scripture. Where do we know to go use the scripture? 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. That's it. That's what I forgot to tell you, Mr. Difficult. I put in there. That's what I put in the that's when I put in the petition I put in. I started out with the Public Law 97-280, stating that the Holy Scripture acknowledges the Holy Scripture as the Word of God. Public Law 97-280, and then I came at him with the 2 Timothy 3:16, the Genesis 1:26. The 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 31-32, to bound their oath of office to them. And that's it. Everything that you can need is in the scripture. And then I hit them with my status, staying in position, and then I ended it with the prayer for relief. And I did the Exodus 20:15, the Exodus 20:15, honor thy mother and father, for your days will be long on earth. You know what I mean?
I don't know if
You know what I
anybody
mean?
else.
So let me ask you this. Mr. Difficult.
Ask me,
When you
brother.
add when you add 20 and 15, what do you get?
20 and 15 makes 35.
And when you get 3 plus 5, what is that?
Something.
All right now, you gotta go back to math class, player. 3 plus 5.
8.
8. Sorry.
So guess what? That's in there specifically on that chapter and verse because it's infinity. You're never supposed to forget about your creators. See, I take the scripture to a whole nother level with the numerology with it and that law dictionary. And I make it all coincide.
I can't believe I fucked up 5 plus 3.
Yeah, no, you didn't fuck up. You just trying to be that motherfucking Mr. Difficult that you are. That's all. I see it, baby. I see it.
Man, it's in my nature, bro.
You're trying to be difficult. You're trying to be funny. It's all good.
No, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Be careful.
Be careful. I shall
Yeah.
remain prudent, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, right now. And that's
But
it.
I'm feeling good, man. Like, I've been kind of ripping and running, but I got to come back to the people.
When people got to come back to their own self, Mr. Difficult, that's what you fail to realize. Autonomy, sovereignty. And everyone's not going to get it. They want HMH University, LLC.
Yes,
They
sir.
love it. They love it.
What else do they know?
HYH and HMH. It ain't about what you know. It's about, look, it's your mindset.
It is, but what's their mindset?
Their mindset, their mindset is that of a slave.
Right.
Because they're content with being told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Look at all the slave shit that we do, that we're not even realizing that we're doing. You ready?
Correct. Correct.
Jury duty,
Yes, sir.
slave shit. Going to
Job.
court, slave shit.
Job.
Jumping out the bed, slave shit. Just
Job.
over broke, slave shit.
Come on.
They just giving you what's yours because you don't have the competency to go back and see who you are, to go claim all your motherfucking estate. And that's it.
Come on.
That's all. You want someone else to do it for you. I'm like, well, shit. You just did a bill of exchange and exchange masters. That's all you did.
Wow.
See, the mindset comes from within. It's nothing from without. You're looking for someone without you. You got to look in from within. Because when the person that's helping you, or your mentor, or whatever, when they take off, guess who's there? Nobody.
Who could love you like you?
Nobody.
Nobody. Nobody could
And
love
so
you
once
like
you,
you.
but that's what I'm saying. But then they don't do that. They feel like they need to be loved from someone else. Someone else needs to tell them how great they are and boost their level of confidence up. This whole thing is autonomy, sovereignty, which equates to self-confidence. You have to be confident in self. You have to know your value. You have to know your status, standing, and position. Until you know your status, standing, and position, you don't know thyself.
And like one thing I learned from you, Ambu, is like you use the word individual, right?
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's an
Right?
individualism, a state, a trust, a S corp, a C corp, all of that shit, all in one, just like with person. But
Correct.
they put them together and make an
Correct.
individual. You see what I'm saying? And so if you don't know these terms or you don't know these definitions, you're gonna be lost in the sauce.
Correct. Because, like, here's the thing. This is what I kind of came up with, man, in my own head, like digesting all the information that I've come across. We are we the people, right? And there are no individual persons. They're just individual males or men and women, right?
No, corporations, estates, and trusts.
Right. But, like, that's not us. That's our
There's no,
person.
but this is the thing. This is where you're fucking people up. All this shit out here is a fiction. I'm not talking like none of this shit is real. None of it is not.
Not even the
It's
people.
who can act the fucking best. Who's got the best acting skills?
So what about the republic? The republic are made of the people, individual people, to collectivize together and make we the people, right? Living souls encompassed in bodies who have estates attached to them, right? And that's where the fictions come in.
Difficult. Mr. Difficult, it's not that difficult. Look it. You have the rules of law, right?
Yes, sir.
You have the rules of equity.
Correct.
What are the rules of law?
Right now, they're legislation.
Wrong answer. What are the rules of law?
Well, they're public law, but when you go into their courts, they're legislations, and they call them laws.
No, I said, what are the rules of law?
Public law. The scripture.
Public law what? The scripture. What else?
Most High. I don't know. I say public law is
Just,
scripture. Please
just
show.
remember this, Mr. Difficult. Remember this, man.
Yes, sir.
The maxims of law, the 20 maxims of law, okay,
Okay.
is the 10 Commandments
Right.
and the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights are the 10 Commandments. I mean, are the first 10 amendments for the Constitution.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay.
so you have 10 and you have 10 and 10 over here, right?
Right.
That's the rules of law. Okay. Then
Okay.
you come over here and you have the rules of equity. You have the 20 rules of equity over here, and
Okay.
the 20 rules of law. That's 2020 vision. That's all you need to be worried about memorizing when it comes to court or anything.
So if
And
the
this is why.
so if the
Because I'm
ten
always going to tell you why. I'm not going to just say something and be like, oh, yeah, just because it's my way. And I don't do that dumbass shit, right? I'm going to tell you just exactly how it is. 1873 Judicature Act of 1873. When there's a conflict with the rules of law and the rules of equity, the rules of equity shall prevail. So if the judge don't want to honor his oath, if he wants to disregard the scripture, if he wants to disregard the Constitution and all the things he swore up to, guess what? Equity kicks his ass, right? And it says what ought to have been done should have been done. So there's no getting out of nothing. As long as you know, as long as you have the clarity with the 2020 vision, that's it. It's called 2020 vision.
what are the 20 equity laws then?
Which one?
I don't know, like, cause you go with the equity and
What ought to have been done should have been done. That's the very first one.
okay.
Equity will not aid a volunteer. There's a bunch of them. Equity follows the law.
I tell you
Equity
what.
will not.
I tell
Equity
you what.
will not allow us.
I'm gonna go look it up. I'm gonna go look it up.
Yeah, man, you got me over here being real difficult right now.
I gotta be. I'm sorry, man. I'm so
Thinking
Oh,
sorry.
you don't gotta
Bill of
be.
Rights.
Look.
That's
I'm
the first
sorry. I
20.
don't mean to be difficult. I don't mean to be difficult, but it's in how my journey proceeds and in filling in the gaps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I
Smoke
need
a
that tough
motherfucking
love,
blunt.
that's why I always need. That's why I always need you by me, bro. Like, cause I'm not trying to lose this relationship at all, bro. For real.
Mister, we don't have a relationship.
We'll say that.
I don't know why you over here, No. Got associates, maybe. I don't, like me, I don't,
Our
got
associate,
associates.
whatever. Like I'm
Right, that's all.
my bad, bro. I don't mean to impose now,
Right. I
but
can't,
whatever
I mean,
association we have, I'm not trying to sever that. I'm not trying to sever that. However, if it happens, I got to deal with it. But it won't be because I did it, though, because I love you to death, bro.
no, don't love me to death. Shit.
You can't tell me who I'm gonna love or not, motherfucker. I'm gonna love whoever I need to love to death.
You can appreciate me, you know what I mean?
That too.
That's all. The love is all good. You got to love yourself first.
Learning how to do that more and more every day. The more and more I learn.
I'm just saying, man, it's real talk.
Real talk. Every day
Yeah,
I
I
learn.
mean,
Every day I earn. You know what I mean?
hey, you got to do what you got to do, player.
Because ain't
You
nobody
know?
gonna do it for you. Ain't nobody gonna do it for
Hey,
you.
no, they not. That's what you got to realize and recognize, man. Ain't no one finna do it for you.
Yes, sir.
None. They not.
Tell you one thing though, like I want to start encouraging that, like, but I can't impose my will on anybody. But I think it would be a great idea to just go through that scripture so people can stop using this undoing
They
of
can't.
God.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. Until they get the office down, they don't even that man. All that they in office a person. All that shit don't apply to them.
Right.
They are governed. You didn't read the office of person. They're governed by statutes, codes, and regulations.
Correct.
They gotta get and they set up in their office and and be operating.
Correct.
That's what you forgetting. You're trying to save the world. Save yourself first. You on the plane, the lady said put your own life jacket on. Don't put your neighbor, your left and right on first, and you on last. By the time you put yours on, shit, plane done crashed.
Yeah, but like I equate it to this,
And
right? Say,
they jumped out. They jumped out the plane in enough time. Thanks to Mr. Difficult.
right, but here's the thing, right?
They got to where they wanted to get to.
Hold on, man. Hold on now. Now let me bring it to another metaphorical circumstance, okay? Say the plane went down and when plane went down in water, can't nobody swim but me because I got the knowledge. Hold on now, Impu.
They
Hold
no,
on. Now
they're
you gonna let
floating. They got
all right,
floaties.
wait,
They
hold
got
on.
floaties. And
They
they're
got
ready to still
floaties,
deal with
but
the
not
state. They're
everybody
not fucking with you.
not everybody got their floaty on. People are drowning and I'm the only one that can swim. I'm supposed to let them drown?
Yep.
Nah, you can't do that, B.
Yeah, I can. I do it every day.
You gonna let them
What you
drown?
want me to do?
You
I
gonna
don't
let them
say. I don't.
drown?
Hey, I don't save no suckers, man. My mama told me a long time ago, "It's boy, a sucker's born every minute. Don't be one." I said, "All right now, I
But you
feel
ain't
you,
gotta be.
mama."
You ain't gonna be a sucker by just helping a few people out that are in desperate
You know how
need,
many
right?
people? You know how many people? You know how many people I help, and they don't even help themselves. After I help them, they still want me to to
See,
do
like
what, Mrs. Difficult? Listen to what they want me to do. They want
I
me to
see,
hold their hand and wipe their ass, and I only got two hands, Mr. Difficult. I can't do it.
right? You got to keep one hand for yourself, right? At least one.
No, you don't. No, I gotta pass. I gotta give you what you need. That's it. I give you what you need. That's all.
Now
I
you know
gave it to you.
I
I
love you
gave
to
it to you
death.
already.
You know I love you to death.
Now listen,
And
man.
I know hold
You
wait,
lo-
hold on.
you love saving them.
But like, okay, I do, and I will fully
I
admit to
know you
that
do.
because it feeds my soul, right? Because I've got nothing else to give right now. So if I can give my time to people and help them, it feeds my soul, right? And I
Okay.
feel
Now
justified
let
in
me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Before you help them, ask them one question and one question only. Because when you help them, what are you creating, Mister Difficult?
I mean, I cooked
precedent.
when I was cooking everything else.
What are you creating with them, Mister Difficult?
I would say it's creating a precedent.
No, it starts with a T.
Trust.
All right now. So what is the first element of trust, Mister Difficult?
What's your intentions and what's your purpose?
So
Right? Okay.
this is the thing. When you're dealing with these individuals, they are lacking intention. They just want to get off of their case. They want to get discharge all their bills. Great. But you have to know who you are first to even do any of that shit. And that's what I explained to all of them. Because guess what? All these individuals that have classes and all of them that have classes, they will tell you one thing. They might not fuck with me, but they know that you have to have foundation in anything that you say, do, or think. Okay, that's universal, profound. That's how a house is built upon foundation. And all this paperwork, it's the house of it's the house of Jones and all this, right?
Right.
Okay, right. And you're saying you're expressing something that you don't know anything about because why? You did their paperwork for them. They gave you a few hundred, a few thousand to do their paperwork for them. Great. And Dolph is exactly right. Intention starts with I. So it's you have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, there's nothing that I can teach you to show you who you are. I've given it to you. You paid $800, right, to get your life changed, right? You had enough faith in myself to invest in yourself, right? Is that
Yes, sir.
right, difficult?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I'm indisposed
O-
right now, but yes, sir.
Okay, so you had that to. Okay, so now, and the story is very touching. You know what I mean? Because it's like the story that you had was touching because, like I said, you was contemplating because the funds was tight, and you just went on a limb and said, "Fuck it." It's something that you felt in your intuition. It's something that you felt in your spirit. You needed to go ahead and do what you needed to do. So you did it, and then after that first class, you was blown away. You wasn't expecting to get all the business that you got that first class.
I disagree.
And then
I
and
was.
then second,
I was.
huh?
I was. I disagree. I was. I was expected to be blown away by each class because the live blew me away. Okay.
What'd you just say? I can't argue with that. To argue with yourself is a fool. You have a mind, and a double-minded man is unstable in all ways. Not some, but all. So with the man that don't know who he is, see, this is the problem. This is the problem with the women. This is the problem with the men. They think that they're their straw man. So when we talk about this stuff and you know better, and and you're sitting here, and I'm telling you the two things, the very four things that you could read to change your life is this. First and foremost, Romans 12, renewal of your mind. Your mind is in so much bondage that you have to renew it.
Correct.
You have to create your own reality.
Yes,
You have to
sir.
be like, you know what, this shit is bullshit. You know what I mean? And I found out it's bullshit. But you know what? I got to take care of my own bullshit before I can help anyone else's bullshit. Why? Because there was only one estate here that was created at this perfect time, place, and circumstance. It's called divine timing. Just
Yes.
like the lady up there, okay?
Yes.
So you was only born at that specific hospital, time, place, and circumstance. So it's your business to handle your business. So when
Yes.
individuals ask me, "Hey, and Pooh, what's up? What you doing?" I tell them just like this: I'm minding my business, and I'm staying the fuck up out of yours. And it's mindfulness, and it's not rude. It's real.
Stay in your
Because if
lane.
I'm worried about your business, when you talk about people constantly and you're gossiping about people constantly, you want to know the perfect example of what happens? Wendy Williams.
Exactly. Gossip. It's gossip. But how much gossip have we been subject to on the TikTok platform?
I go by actual and factual. They can gossip all they want to. Like I say, you ain't never hear me about ripping off nobody because I don't got to. You know, I work with people. I don't got to do all that. You know what I mean? And like I said, and it's bad. And I know you lack integrity because the whole corporation they've been doing that the whole time. That's what we're trying to show them. Like, hey, get out of the bondage and get over here into freedom. But they want to see a little process and be like, oh yeah, by the way, oh, you were late, so I'm not letting you in. So I'm just gonna take your money. And like I said, you ain't finna do that with me. And like I said, when people like they use that word, to, oh my intuition, oh my discernment. But they have better discernment about these individuals. You know what I mean? Anytime that they're gonna tell you, oh, I'm gonna give you the documentation after the class is over, man. Come on. Oh, I'm gonna give you the templates when the class is over. Be patient. Come on, man. Cut it out. Cut it out. Maybe you capping. You don't got the paperwork to even do it.
Oh man, I had to take a breath on that one.
Yeah, because that's what it is. But like I say, hey,
Wait,
go
like
for
Input,
yours.
can I speak on
Don't
that
come.
right quick?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna speak on this too. Don't be complaining to me about all the classes you done took and all. I don't want to hear it because there's only one over here. Is often imitated but never duplicated. And poo.
Right, and I mean you made your own decisions too, so to live with it. But what I'm saying is, right, in order to take a class and you get everything you need in the class when the class is conducted, to me that's professional. You know, that's professional. That's doing business. That's official business.
No, it's
And
this. It's this right here. You get what you pay for, Mr. Difficult. That's just the bottom line. See, they was on my helmet. Oh, you charge too much, this and that. I don't charge enough. My 19 years of experience, I could charge commas too, but I want individuals to get it. But I'm not going to hold their hand either. That's why
right,
I do have the study groups after the class is over. You come in the study groups and hey, you have questions, I got answers. You got questions, I got answers. If I don't know it, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I don't know it. Go check with such and such because they deal with consumer credit. I don't. Go check with such and such because they deal with SEC. I don't. I
right,
don't. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't involve myself in those areas. That's what they want to do, and that's what they entertain. Go for it.
right.
There's many different levels of knowledge of this, and once again, you missed yesterday. Okay, so for Sunday, okay, for Sunday class, I asked a simple question, and this is the question I asked, and it's a big question.
Okay.
What is your direction in all of this? What is your direction? Because you can put the Fantastic Five out there, right? The documentation that you need to operate in commerce. But what is your direction? What is it you're trying to do? And I
Right.
told him just like this. What are you trying to do after the house and the car? That's all the individual really seem to want on these platforms. Oh, a house. Oh, a car. Okay.
My
Then
thing is
what?
go get the house. Go get the house in the car once you got you got your feet set up and you're drinking lemonade in the sun. Because anything after that is cake. Anything after that is cake. Once you got everything else done, you got your feet up and you drinking your lemonade in the sun. That's when you start doing that. Because you're going to come from the right position in order to do so. You're not going to be, I hate to say it, just following the process.
You gotta be a monkey. That's all what you're saying. You're gonna be a monkey. Monkey see,
Right.
monkey do.
Yeah.
Kasha Johnson, what's up?
I was just listening. I was gonna say to Mr. Difficult because I hear you guys going back and forth on should you save people, and I had a comment on that. I feel like Mr. Difficult you're doing your part by having this platform, but that's all you can do. Just you putting out information that is supposed to be helpful for others, whether or not they're at the frequency and capable to receive, is purely up to you know what direction they have for themselves. Some people ain't meant to go. So you could talk to your blue in the face to certain individuals, and if they just ain't resonating at that frequency yet, doesn't mean that they're not going to be there one day. It's just like everybody is on their own timing, just like this just now coming to be a part of your reality. And I don't know how long you've been studying in the last year, 2 or 3 or whatever, 6 months. It's same thing for everybody else. It has to be an alarm going off in your own head. And then you seek it out. And then you having this platform is exactly what they look for, because they're now seeking, but you can't go and just try to inspire that thought. They have to come looking.
You can induce it. And they're not trying to induce it. Just like you put the reins on the horse. You guide the horse to the water. Allow the horse to drink. But you can't make the horse think. So wherever the horse is drinking, that's where the thinking pond is. And if they don't nourish their thoughts by you leading them to the water, you gotta leave them there at the pond and let them keep drinking until they can get it down in order to do it themselves.
I don't even think that you can induce it. I think that all you could do is just
Can't induce it. You can't make anybody do what was something they are not willing to do themselves. You cannot induce it.
no, you can't induce it. All you can do is just like our parents did, is plant a seed. Sometimes the stuff our parents said don't even resonate until 20 years later.
Until
You
you
can't
overstand it.
until your frequency vibrates at the level of receiving. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Until you've had enough experience in life to make you go, wait a minute. I think that I heard this a bit, before. I think that this is something mom used to tell me. Oh, I think my dad told me that this was going to happen if I did, but it'll be 25 years later, because you had to go through your own bull. You have to go through your own journey, your old ruts. You have to
Like I
stub
told
your toe
Divine,
a
you
time or
got to
two.
get kicked. Right, like I told Divine, you got to get kicked in the chest before you
Yep.
pick yourself up and be like, "Yo, I'm not trying to get kicked in the chest anymore." And I think Moon can attest to the fact I did not know the level at which the game has been played on me until
Yep.
I started hearing that scripture.
Yep.
I did not know the level of the game. I was willing to go into the court, be like, "Oh, what's the nature and cause?" And like, here's the thing: I'll tell people to do that, but what, Divine? What did I tell you? As soon as you get out of there, what?
Why do we fall, folks?
It's funny.
What happened?
Ampu made that
Divine,
comment
hold
about
on,
linear
Divine,
direction.
my love. I'm sorry, my now my iPhone, my iPad is dying.
Oh, darn it.
Like, like in our talk, I said, as soon as you get out of that court case, what do you need to do? It's in the recap email. You start getting your affairs in order. You start letting these people know that I don't need you to do this for me. I'm going to do it myself. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no administrators. I'll administrate it myself.
Yep.
Are
Why
you
do we?
sure? Are you sure?
If you're ready, but you got to be ready.
Yep.
Okay.
If you're ready, but if you're not ready, go get that lawyer. I can't do nothing else for you.
See, that's my thing. It all falls back on that being in the world and of the world. And once this is all over, I'm gonna do everything I can to not be, part of it.
Right, but Divine, you have that lawyer right now, and you're scared to. I don't want to say you're scared, but it's fearful to jump off that cliff by yourself and embark on that journey by yourself.
I've been
Where's the
apprehensive,
liar?
yeah, since I met you, but like also since I met you, I have found I've become more empowered by like these group talks and stuff, and even like I said, the Telegram. I'm
Say
to
it
the point where
again.
I'm
Say it
gonna,
again. I am dispelling the fear, people. For
yeah. I
you
mean,
to have the courage in order to manage your own affairs, But in the meantime, you got to go in there, get out, and buy yourself some time.
Yep.
And Pooh told me to do a continuance. And it's so funny. I sent the prosecutor an email saying, "Look, I'm gonna get an attorney. I need a continuance. Yo, y'all just gonna keep coming against me, so I better be prepared." I sent some bullshit email when I went into the courtroom the next day. I guarantee you, when I tell you she came into that motherfucker dancing a two-step because I was the only one on the docket that was only gonna give her any problems. But guess what I did that day? I filed an affidavit as well. And then she goes, "Oh, what's this affidavit about?" I'm like, "It's to attest to the fact that you did not answer to my bill of particulars. If I have to get legal representation in order to fight you against this, I will. But I don't think I need it." For the rest of the court, the next 2 days, she was quiet as hell. Nervous.
She ain't got that. She ain't got that smoke.
I'm telling
That
you,
makes
like,
them. That makes them bow out every time.
if you know what's going on, you can get in there and get out. Do not focus on what's going on in that courtroom because it's all a
Don't
dog and
fucking
pony show.
go. Don't
Don't
go.
go. But these people don't have that knowledge not to go, though,
Listen,
Ampu.
I
That's the
get in the
thing.
knowledge every time I step on this motherfucker.
Right, but
I
everybody,
give
that's
it
what I'm
to
saying.
him.
Everybody, please, that's why I always let you up there. I always not let you up there. I don't have no choice because these people need to hear this. And I can't speak it to them like you can. And I keep trying to tell them, but I can't give it to them like you can. You see what I'm saying?
I give it out of passion because, like I said, my situation is different.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
I'm not doing no traffic tickets, none of that.
Not
But you're in a different standing. You just can't go if you haven't put proper notices out in order
Man,
to separate yourself from the entity. Because then you're gonna have a warrant. Who wants to go around and not able to with looking over their shoulder because they're gonna arrest
a
all caps name is attached to you.
DBA will do wonders. That's
match
it.
match with that power of
That's
attorney.
just a DBA and the power of attorney. But what I did is I put everything in the class. I put everything together for you. to where you're big fucking bulletproof. The only thing that you can fuck up is by doing what I tell you don't do, like Florida Mike. So
Right.
don't go to court. Still want to
I would.
go. You still
I
want to
wouldn't
boss the
go.
Yeah,
fucking
I
judge
understand what you're
around.
saying.
You you
If
you
you
still want
put
to.
some stuff out there on record.
Not only that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go at this point. But I'm at a point where I would not go. I would send them a letter in the private. But most people aren't set up like that.
Yeah, I feel
Neither
like
was
I
you.
don't have a choice right now at this point. Is how I
I'm
feel.
I'm set up enough to do it though,
How
Ampu.
you how you feel like you don't have a choice with that name?
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I just don't have enough knowledge in it to know how I can handle
That's
that
it. That's
situation.
the only thing you don't have is the knowledge, because you definitely don't have to go if you know how to do
You,
things in the private, but you haven't declared that yet. So therefore, you still are attached in your mind to the entity that they're calling you, and it's not you.
Yeah. No,
Go
I
take
But you haven't
Ampu's
told them
class.
that.
Even
Go
if
take
you're not,
Ampu's class. It'll be worth it when you're ready.
e- even if you're not, and I agree with Ampu, but I also agree with the people where, like, okay, uh, I'm not going to go in there, but I'm going to get a bench warrant, and I don't know how to deal with that.
I mean,
okay, so check this out. Check this out. What is a bench warrant?
It's a warrant.
Say,
it's a warrant though. It's not a warrant. It's not like a regular warrant. A bench warrant is a warrant to the actual court case itself.
It's a check.
It's a what?
There you go. A check.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah, so what you running from? I'm
Yeah,
like, shit, pick me up so I can get fucking paid. CTC, cut the fucking check.
I guess because I have a situation going, and it's not something I want to sit here and talk with everybody about. But I mean,
Got you.
so I feel like I've got to operate in a certain manner to handle my situation.
Listen, I'm gonna be real clear with you. Real clear. I've been in every situation I've been in every single court situation that you would ever imagine and that you could ever imagine. I'm talking about parole, new charges. I'm talking about probation, new charges. I'm talking about new cases. I'm talking about all of that shit. Okay. Now, every single time you have a lawyer, you cannot put in the documentation that you would like to put in because they are going to disregard it because you are under the subject matter of the court with that attorney. You are considered to be a British citizen. No, a British citizen. You work for the Crown. So the Crown's got to get paid and the lawyer got to get paid. It's called an IOTA, an interest on lawyer's trust account. Okay? So that's when Mr. Diffco, he went to the court, he talking about true bill of particulars. If you don't have no indictment, you don't got no true bill. You see? That's all. When you start asking for true bill of particulars with the voucher, with the audit trail of all transactions, you start talking that real accounting and banking shit. When you're in the court, it's a whole different ball game.
That's what I put that in my plea and abatement about the audit trail.
Right, but you can't do no abatement with an attorney is what I'm explaining.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
It's
trying
not going to do anything.
I have a previous document that I'm going to send to him with a letter of instruction. And as far as I'm concerned, because when I sent him my bill of particulars a couple months ago, he was like, you can file that, but I don't want my name on it. He want nothing to do with it. So I figure I'm going to send him a letter of instruction. And if he says, no, I refuse to, then I'm going to tell him you need to recuse yourself because I'm hoping that's what he'll do. So then I can get rid of him.
No,
Recuse what? It's called fire.
Yeah,
It's called fire. You're fired 3 times on the record.
Yeah, you fire him in open court.
You got fired. You got to fire these servants.
Yeah.
If they're not doing your will, you got to fire them. But when you got to get out that mindset of like they're not who you think they are. They're fucking costume characters.
Well, I want to
That's
stay
playing a
in
part.
good standing and honor, you know what I mean? And properly say, hey, can you do this for me? And when he refuses to, properly recuse him.
Good standing and good honor is not having an attorney.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get rid of him. So
Don't try to do it. You're fired. On the record, for the record, and let the record reflect. Barrister Jim Jones, number 9935674. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Well,
And
and Pooh, can I
like I
interject?
said, and
My
that's
brother,
it.
and Pooh, let me interject,
Sure.
please. Now, people, what I've been telling people is if you just fire him, now you're in dishonor amongst the
You're
court.
not in
You've
no
been,
dishonor. You have a right to represent. You have a right to counsel. I don't
well,
have to have no bar attorney. Look at me and my best friend. I was his fucking attorney, in fact, in the court. I've done all this shit, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I've done all
What's the
this shit.
limit?
I don't speak nothing that I haven't done.
all right. I'm going to ingest that because I've been trying to tell people, oh, if you just fire him now, you got to give him good faith, good hands, clean hands, and give him the opportunity to do the right thing. But
Why would you tell him that?
well, I feel like that you have to do that with judge-appointed lawyers
Okay, let me tell you
because the
something.
judge appointed that to you in quote
Yeah.
unquote good faith, right? And for you to just fire
Did
him,
what?
right? Because you're a citizen, right? You can't speak for yourself, especially. Yeah. All right.
So, and Pooh, you have like classes and stuff. I'm just wondering if maybe outside of this, I could talk to you for a few minutes
Divine, I
because
told you about his class several times, baby.
I actually honestly didn't know anything about his classes. I've never even heard of him, to be honest. I don't know if you have actually told me about him.
I probably do. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I've been trying to tell people to manage their own affairs, right?
Yeah.
And I can't tell it to you like Ampu can. I cannot tell it to you like Ampu can. Because you're going to come with that scripture. You're going to come from the Most High and tell you what the Most High has
No,
instructed
that's
you to do.
exactly the direction that I want to be. I mean, to me, this is about, like I said, not being in the world
But of the
versus
world,
of the
right?
world. You know what I mean?
So the
Isn't
To
the
question,
me,
Sixth
this is,
Amendment?
yeah, like
go
to
ahead.
me, this well, to me, this whole process is about becoming closer to God, and the fact that they denounce the scripture, if you will, they don't even carry the Bible. The judge doesn't even carry the Bible. I mean, that's why we stood when he entered the courtroom, because he had the Bible, and we were standing
And he
for the
don't have the
Bible, not the
Bible.
judge. And now he don't
He's
even
standing for
carry
the
that
judge
Bible no
now.
more. So why should I even respect standing for him,
Why should
Correct.
you even go?
for the Bible? I mean, not
Why
only
would
will
you
he
even
not
go?
even stand for the Constitution, he's not standing for the Bible. And to me, like, this journey has done nothing but draw me closer to God. And that's the direction that I wish to be. And I think that's where you win. Because I think if you don't have
Well, it's
God,
not about
and
winning.
honestly,
Like,
God
see,
can be
like
whatever
we
it means
always,
to you.
so like it is a game though, right? It's a game. And we
Yeah.
always trying to get that win when we go in there. It's all about that win.
It ain't no
Yeah.
win.
It ain't no
It ain't no
win
win.
because
It
look,
ain't no win if you don't come out with the check, man. Stop it.
Yeah,
CTC,
no, I hear you,
So what are you
Ampood, and
going in
I'm
there
like
for if you're not
curious.
going to get a check? What are you going in there for? That's what I'm asking.
because they're not set up
Yeah, no,
properly in order to not do so.
Hey,
They
read
can't.
read
Are they
read
set
the
up
rights
proper?
of
What? Once again, you also I'm set up properly. Send that motherfucker judicial notice and tell them what's up. You gotta get rid of that attorney though, because the attorney is what? His first duty under corpus secundum,
to serve the court.
corpus juris secundum.
Yeah,
His first duty is to the court and never the
yeah,
client.
it's just, yeah, not to me. It
And the
has nothing
court
to do with me.
and who is the court?
Of course, the paperwork.
No, of course the judge.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
court.
his first duty.
But
His
the
first
judge,
duty.
right?
Oh, court
His
happens
first
in the
duty is
paperwork, but
always to the judge and never the client.
Who's talking?
He got to
Divine?
serve the bank.
Is that who's having this problem? Is your name Divine?
yeah.
Yeah.
Read rights of the defendant in the Constitution. I mean, the Amendment 6. Read the whole thing. The reason why you
Yeah.
feel this way is because you don't have any confidence in yourself. You can't do, I understand what Ampu's saying, but he has confidence and it didn't just come overnight. You know what I'm saying? He actually had to learn this stuff, try it out and all that so he could speak with confidence. But you don't have that yet. You need to do some studying and you need to do some reading and research and you need to do some
But
prayer.
Kasha, what's the first
Well,
step? She got to get rid of that attorney before she can start doing any of that.
She got to change.
she
Yeah,
can't
but
she
she got to
can't
have a
have no
mindset.
attorney. You cannot have an attorney And like you said, because when you put yourself in an attorney-client relationship, then you're letting them know that you're not of age of majority or age of maturity to handle your
I
affairs,
know.
and so you're
I
you're
know.
a baby in their eyes. Do
Yeah,
you?
you
So
signed a
I know.
POA and gave them the rights to sign and speak for you.
that's why I told you
To
to
handle
read.
your affairs for you.
That's why I told you to
No,
read your rights, because
I,
you
I
have
know I know
rights.
exactly where you're coming from. My lack of confidence comes from
Lack of
another
experience.
situation,
Vaccination.
Lack of
and
experience.
that's why I said I was curious to run it by Ann Pooh. I know I lack experience because this is not something
And Pooh's
I've
gonna
pushed
tell
forward
your
in
ass
court
how
yet.
to
I
go.
kept
That's what he
But
gonna
like
tell you.
people,
What
before
you
we
say,
start,
girl?
I said, and Pooh's just gonna tell you, don't go. Why are you going? What is you going for? He's gonna have you put in the proper paperwork, which is good, and that's what you need to do. But I'm saying for the rest of your life, to get the confidence you need, it's not going to be nobody telling you what to do. You're going to have to go and seek it out yourself and get that overstanding. And that's going to require you to get the wisdom that you need by reading. You're going to have to read
I
these acts. You're going to have to read these constitutions. You're going to have to read these laws.
no, not like
no I
in her defense, to speak in your defense.
There's
Now,
no
I
reason
can't
to
speak
be
on your fact
suspicious.
because I mean, before she says it, because I know she's going to say it, and I'll let you reiterate it, right? She's got all the readings down, right? But she's just faced with this, right? And now she's trying to figure out how to get out of it. And all
Well,
she's doing is seeking guidance.
she
No,
has
that's
an
not.
advantage. Okay, she has the advantage. Okay, let me tell you why. When I came into this knowledge in 2005, I caught my case in 2008. Okay, so I've been studying, but I haven't really been studying. I've still been trapping from 10 to 6, and
Right?
I would take about 3 hours out the day to study it, right? And I'm double-minded man. I'm doing this and I'm doing, you know, I'm selling,
Yep.
doing back and forth. Okay, so I get on the highway to go back to make another trip out of town. Get pulled over. There's a kilo of cocaine and $100,000 in the trunk. Okay, they go and find it. Do the whole search thing with the dog. Okay, I get booked. The only thing I have on me in the car is a redemption manual. Okay, so I'm in
wow.
there and I had to go and guess. I was reading it, and the comprehension had to come in. So I'm guessing. Well, what do I do now? I don't have TikTok. I don't have these